15 and 35. If you lose 2 of 3 to the White Sox, that'll mess with your confidence a little bit. And I know that the confidence level in that clubhouse isn't at an all-time high right now. We obviously know that because of the season they're having. But to go out there and put a 9 spot on a pitcher that you're supposed to beat, you were supposed to beat Nastrini last night. You were supposed to hang a crooked number on him, 4, 5, 6 runs, maybe not 9. But they were supposed to do damage against a guy like that. And you heard Bo talking. They're just trying to have fun. They're trying to spark something. Whether you like that jacket or not, whether you like the red carpet through the dugout or not, I don't really have any feelings towards it. If it's something that sparks an offensive surge, sure, go ahead and do it. But the fact that Bo Bichette took that slider that was hung by Nastrini and deposited it 420 feet away, that's all I'm worried about.
For the Blue Jays, that's probably all they're worried about as well. They pick up the win yesterday, trying to do it again today. Before we get to first pitch, though, let's go over to our host today in Baseball Control. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, guys. Welcome back inside Baseball Control. Hope you're all doing well this evening. Before we check out the standings update, courtesy of Bet365, let's hear from Blake Murphy on Jays Talk Plus. Blake chatting with Cody Stavenhagen, Tigers beat writer for The Athletic. The guys chatting about the start to the year for the Tigers, who enter play today at 23 and 26.
It's not the 1984 Tigers who you wrote about today, who started the season 35 and 5, but it's a pretty good start up until this last week, hanging around 500 and stuff. What has gone well for the Tigers to start this season, and then things off the rails just a little bit this last little bit?
Yeah, it's been interesting because I think there's a lot of frustration from the fan base right now. People who hoped this team would be fun, hoped it would be exciting. We saw some of that in April, and then it's been a pretty rough go of things in May. I think it boils down to the pitching overall has been pretty good, starting pitching in particular. The bullpen started off dynamic. It's really leveled out to the point of even struggling now. I think the bullpen's pretty taxed. But the offense has been inconsistent at best, bad at worst. I think the Tigers are, again, in the bottom third of the league. And worse than that, it seems like their good days are okay and their bad days, you're just wondering when they're going to get a hit. You have a lot of young hitters in this lineup, some guys that have just not taken off, like Colt Keith, the rookie, Spencer Torkelson. Everyone was hoping he could replicate or build on a 31 homer season he had last year. It just hasn't come together. He seems to be late on fastballs constantly. We've seen some bright spots in Riley Green, but even he has been a little bit streaky. And that seems like once you get to 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters, this order can dry out real fast. You're looking at Javier Baez, who has not improved at all. In fact, he's gotten even worse from last year. So I think, diagnosing the struggles of this team, it comes down to offense, and that has placed a huge burden on the pitching staff to almost be perfect every time out. And obviously that's just not realistic or sustainable.
That is Cody Stavenhagen, Tigers beat writer for The Athletic. Sounds pretty familiar what he's saying about the Tigers, about another team we all watch. You can catch the full conversation on the Jays Talk podcast feed, Jays Talk Plus. You can find wherever you grab your favorite podcast. Let's check out that Bet365 standings update. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game is still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Let's check out the AL East. The Yankees actually played today. They're done. They beat the Mariners 5-0. Luis Gil with another gem. They are now 35 and 17, atop the division after the win. The Orioles are 29 and 18. The Red Sox are 26 and 24. And the Rays are 25 and 26. The Blue Jays enter this game 22 and 26. So they are winners of 3 of their last 4. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk this evening. You saw Blair and Barker on TV earlier. They have the post-game show today and tomorrow. They will take your phone calls after the final out. Blair, as always, will throw out the numbers to call when this game is in the books. All right, let's get you back over to the guys calling the action. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue with the call of the game.
Thank you very much, Joe. Jack Flaherty taking the field as the Tigers are starting to warm up in the top of the first inning. And let's take a look at the lineups today for both sides. On the Blue Jays side, Davis Schneider will lead off and play second base. Danny Jansen, the catcher, bats second. First baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits third. Bo Bichette, the shortstop, bats cleanup. Daniel Vogelbach draws his start. He'll be the DH today and bat fifth. George Springer, the right fielder, hits sixth. It's Dalton Varsho, the left fielder, batting seventh. Third baseman Isaiah Kiner-Falefa hitting eighth. And Kevin Kiermaier, the center fielder, batting ninth. Kevin Gausman will start today for the Blue Jays. And on the other side for the Tigers, it's Riley Green, the DH, leading off. Left fielder Matt Fearling hits second. Wenzel Perez, the center fielder, hits third. Kerry Carpenter, the right fielder, bats fourth. Gio Urshela, the former Yankee, hits fifth and plays third. Spencer Torkelson, the former first overall pick, plays first and bats sixth. The second baseman, Colt Keith, bats seventh. The shortstop, Javier Baez, behind him, and Carson Kelly, the catcher and number 9 hitter. It's Jack Flaherty on the mound for the Detroit Tigers. First season with Detroit, coming over as a free agent. Flaherty making his 10th start of the season. A decent start for the right-hander at 1-3 with his record, but a 3.79 ERA. Davis Schneider stepping up to the plate. He'll lead off today for the Blue Jays. He brings his .246 average, 10 doubles, and 5 homers to the plate. And the first pitch is down and away, ball 1. Time of the first pitch today is 6:40 Eastern. And the next one drops in. And that ball is hit down the left field line. It's going to go foul. And that'll make it 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jack Flaherty has 72 strikeouts in just 54 innings of 54 and 2/3 innings of work. He has really good stuff.
Here comes Flaherty's 1-1 pitch. Actually, a pause in the action, and now the 1-1, and that misses down and away. And that's going to be ball 2. So now Davis Schneider up in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike to lead off the top of the first. For Davis Schneider in the leadoff spot yesterday, a single, 2 RBIs, big hit in the second, also walked in the 7th inning. 2-1 pitch, called strike on the slider, and it's 2-2.
And that's a tough pitch from Flaherty. A 2-1 slider right there. Schneider, I'm sure, thinking something hard. Flaherty has such good off-speed pitches, though.
Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss by Schneider. Strike 3. He goes down on a high fastball. That's 1 out, and here comes Danny Jansen. We're in the first inning, which is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. First pitch to Jansen, 4-seam fastball in there, strike 1. Day off yesterday for the Blue Jays catcher. Alejandro Kirk got to start. Now Jansen back in there and back batting second. Next pitch. It's in on the hands, and it's taken. That'll be strike 2.
And Danny Jansen is on fire right now, hitting .319 with 5 homers and 12 RBIs. He's a guy that the Blue Jays need in this lineup. I know that he needs days off, but when he's not in this lineup, this is a worse lineup.
0-2 pitch, high and outside. Flaherty yanked the fastball, and that'll make it 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander Flaherty stands 6'4", a 28-year-old. Here's his 1-2. Jansen takes down and away with the slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Flaherty back on the rubber, into the wind. The 2-2 pitch is fouled off. A pretty center-cut fastball to Danny Jansen, but couldn't get the good wood on it.
Yeah, good swing from Danny Jansen. Just missed it, fouling it back. He definitely wants that pitch back from Flaherty.
Jansen came up with big hits in Game 1 of the White Sox series, 3 of them. And now the 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Top of the zone fastball. Flaherty has struck out back-to-back hitters to start this one. 2 down, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. about to step in.
Flaherty's so good at elevating that fastball late in counts, and you saw that to Schneider, you saw that to Danny Jansen. That's why his strikeout rate is so high, because he can locate that fastball at the top of the zone. And guys just seem to swing right through it.
Best strikeouts per 9 in Major League Baseball at 11.5 for the right-hander. First pitch to Vladdy, called strike 1. 95 on the fastball on the outside edge. Home plate umpire tonight is Lance Barrett. Mark Ripperger umpires first. Roberto Ortiz at second, and Alfonso Marquez at third. 0-1. Vladdy takes down and away, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And one of the most important things when looking at Jack Flaherty's stuff is, yes, he has that high strikeout rate, but he has a very low walk rate. Only 8 walks in 54 and 2/3 innings. And those 72-8 walk ratio is pretty incredible.
1-1 pitch, swung on, and sent on the ground toward first. Spencer Torkelson picks it up. He'll go over to the bag, step on it, and end the inning. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Jack Flaherty sets the Blue Jays down 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Kevin Gausman takes the mound next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The fork and knifer, splatterer, condiment queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swanson staring at second. Comes home with a 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the first inning, Blue Jays in Detroit, Michigan, taking on the Tigers. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Kevin Gausman takes the bump right now for the Blue Jays. He'll make his 10th start of the season, and the right-hander starts off with Riley Green, the left-handed hitter. A kick and the pitch. It's fouled off a fastball. Strike 1.
And the biggest thing for Kevin Gausman is throw strike 1. He's been up and down this season. In his last start against Tampa, it was a quality start, but we saw some odd things. He threw fastballs at 89, 90 miles an hour, and then he would gas one up to 95, 96. And I'm not sure if that's how he's pitching now. But if he is, that's fine. I'm just not sure if that's exactly how he's attacking guys.
0-1 pitch, splitter, and Green lays off of it low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And then he had a meltdown against Minnesota, gave up 6 earned runs in just 3 innings. 86 pitches through 3. And then against Washington, he was unhittable. He gave up no earned runs in 5 1/3 innings. So it's been a challenge for him, to say the least.
1-1 pitch is a sinker high, 2-1. Gausman gets the ball back from Danny Jansen, back onto the rubber, and quickly gets into the 2-1. That misses, and it'll be 3 balls and 1 strike. Green, the left-handed hitting DH, batting .288 this year, or pardon me, .239, but 9 homers. .3-1 pitch right down the heart of the plate, and that makes it strike 2 and a full count. Here comes the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He got him. First punch out of the day for Kevin Gausman, and there's 1 down.
That's a big pitch right there because Riley Green has a ton of power. 9 homers in that leadoff spot, 20 RBIs. You know he was looking something hard, and he swung right through it.
So Green is down, and Matt Vierling, the left fielder picked up in a trade last year from Philadelphia, or before last year, will bat now. The first pitch from Kevin Gausman is called strike 1. Gausman into the set. The 6'2 righty kicks and offers. That pitch is a ball, 1 strike. Vierling this season, a .266 hitter, 5 doubles, 4 triples, 3 homers, and 18 RBIs. The 1-1, outside, ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike, 1 out, and the base is empty. No score, bottom of the first. Kevin Gausman's next pitch. That one is hit in the air, right side of the infield. Davis Schneider out onto the right field. Grass makes the catch. There are 2 down.
That was a well-located fastball from Kevin Gausman. He's able to get Matt Vierling to pop that thing up. Good pitch, falling behind in the count.
Falling behind to both of the first 2 batters, but it hasn't mattered so far. Here's Wenzel Perez, the rookie and center fielder right now for Detroit. First pitch, Perez takes. It's called strike 1.
He is a true rookie, hitting .297 with 3 homers. Pretty good start to his rookie season.
Hitting better as a rookie this year than he did in the minors last year when he hit .274. 0-1 pitch, and that's fouled off. It'll be 0-2.
And you see that once in a while. Doesn't happen very often, but a guy gets called up and actually outperforms his minor league numbers. Not something that is overly common, but Perez, obviously one of the few guys to be able to do that.
Gausman set, and the 0-2 pitch. Just a little bit low, just barely out of the zone. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. First of 4 here in Detroit. A couple night games to start it. A few day games on the weekend as well. Kevin Gausman trying to get through a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the first inning for Kevin Gausman. He blanks the Tigers and keeps it 0-0. Bo Bichette leads off the top of the second at Comerica Park. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
His uplifting house anthems fueled a global EDM revolution. Explore his legacy on Avicii Radio, a new channel featuring hits, performances, and music inspired by the legendary DJ. Let's go! Stream now in the SiriusXM app. Just search Avicii.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy playoff basketball to reacting to the NFL draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into SiriusXM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' 3rd national title.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
The second inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Bo Bichette leading off for the Blue Jays. No score, top of the second inning. Jack Flaherty on the mound. Here's the pitch. Bo swings and shoots the ball to the right side, down in right field. A couple bounces and into the glove of Kerry Carpenter. That's another base hit for the red-hot Bo Bichette. He's aboard, and here comes Daniel Vogelbach with nobody out.
And that's how you know when Bo Bichette is seeing the ball really well, going the other way. Good line drive to right fielder Kerry Carpenter. I'll tell you what, the Blue Jays need him to get hot.
Daniel Vogelbach, left-handed hitting slugger up in the first pitch he takes. It's called strike one, says Lance Barrett. 0-1. He's Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. 1, 2, 3 innings for both of the starters in this one. Jack Flaherty and Kevin Gausman each also struck out a pair in the first. The 0-1 pitch is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Jack Flaherty, one of the rare starting pitchers in Major League Baseball with a single-digit number 9. You don't see that every day. Obviously, Marcus Stroman wears number 0 with the Yankees. That's the only one I can think of right now.
1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Vogelbach. That was a pretty center-cut pitch, but he just swung under it, and it's 1-2. Did you have one number or multiple numbers?
I was always, at least I tried to get 63. 63 was the first number given to me in my first big league camp in 2008. And back in those days, it was a form of, I don't want to say disrespect, but it was a rite of passage to have a really high number. But now it's cool to have a high number.
Yeah, it's kind of flipped. Flaherty in the set, steps off, throws over to first, and back diving safely is Bichette.
So I tried to keep 63 just to kind of remember where I came from.
Now the 1-2 to Vogelbach, hits it on the ground, headed toward Baez, the shortstop, picks it up, flips to Keith at second for 1, over to first. Double play. The Bichette base hit is erased on a 6-4-3 double play, and now 2 down with the bases empty. No score in the top of the second inning. Blue Jays at Comerica Park. George Springer now batting. Flaherty into the wind and the pitch. Bounce to the left side of the field. Picked up by the shortstop Baez. His throw over to first in time, and that will do it for the top of the second. 1 hit for the Blue Jays, but no runs and no one left on. Searching for a first run as we go to the middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior Jays Sunday.
Tomorrow, not someday, the home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
I give you the world, but there's other planets too.
Hola, soy Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Está escuchando a Toronto Blue Jays Baseball en la radio de Sportsnet.
Bottom of the second inning at Comerica Park. It's the Blue Jays and the Tigers. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Kevin Gausman on the mound. His first pitch to Kerry Carpenter is hit back foul, 0-1. No score in the bottom of the second inning. Gausman struck out 2 swinging in the first inning, but the lefty slugger Carpenter is dangerous, hitting .281 this year, 10 doubles and 6 homers. Gausman misses with the next pitch. Now the 1-1. And that one drops in low. 2 balls, 1 strike.
That's pretty good split finger right there starting. Looked like a fastball right at the bottom of that zone, and then dropped off the table at the last second. Good take from Carpenter.
Pardon me, now the 1-1. Swing and a miss on a splitter, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's obviously got the feeling for that splitter tonight. That one right there didn't really have as much of a drop on it. It looked like a little bit of a changeup. It had that fade to it, not the dramatic drop that last pitch had, but he definitely has a feeling for that split tonight.
Gausman in the set. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Down and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers in all white uniforms today. The Blue Jays in baby blues. Gausman does have white cleats. Righty bouncing on his front left foot. 2-2 pitch. Just missed outside with a fastball. Full count.
Everything he's thrown to Kerry Carpenter so far has been on the outer half of the plate. So you know that Kerry Carpenter is looking for something over the heart of the plate on the outer third.
3-2. Missed outside, ball 4. A leadoff walk to Carpenter. And for Gausman, the first base runner allowed today.
And we talked about this yesterday with Chris Bassett. You have to at least establish the inside part of the plate, especially to good hitters. Kerry Carpenter's hitting .281 with 6 homers. He's no slouch. So you have to establish the inside part of the plate, even if it's not a strike, so they can't just look outside the whole at-bat. That gives the hitter a big advantage.
Here comes right-handed hitting third baseman Gio Urshela. Runner on first, nobody out. Gausman's pitch. Bounce to block off the chest by Jansen, 1-0. For Urshela, he's in his 26th game of the season, batting .266, 4 doubles, no homers, 7 RBIs. Open stance for the right-handed hitter. And the 1-0. Just a little bit inside. Urshela backs out of the way. 2 balls and no strikes after the walk.
There you go. That's the inside part of the plate that Kevin Gausman needs to establish. You could see how uncomfortable Gio Urshela kind of pulled his hands in and jumped out of the way. Now that opens up the outside part of the plate.
Gausman's 2-0. Lined up the middle, and it's caught on a bounce by Schneider. He goes to second for 1, over to first, double play. The Blue Jays turn it 4-6-3, just as the Tigers did it 6-4-3 in the top of the second, and now 2 outs in the bottom of the second for Kevin Gausman, who had a big smile after that play started by Schneider.
Yeah, that was a tough play from Davis Schneider. Good pick with the feed to Bo Bichette, and they turn 2. That's a big play.
So with 2 down, former first overall pick Spencer Torkelson up. He checks his swing on a called strike. It's 0-1. No score, bottom of the second. Blue Jays and Tigers in game 1 of 4. Jansen setting up inside, the 0-1. Misses inside. Gausman hit his spot, but it was a ball. Next pitch, down and in again. They're trying to work Torkelson inside, but they've missed twice to make it 2-1.
Yeah, I like that pitch location and pitch selection. A good sinker down and in. You could see Torkelson jumping back. And again, I know that I sound like a broken record, but it's so important to establish the inside part of the plate. It just opens up the outside part of the plate. You can throw that split finger. You can throw the slider now.
2-2. Or 2-1, pardon me. Swing and a miss. Now it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Or you can just blow a fastball by him.
Gausman stretches out his arms, steps on the rubber, adjusts his cap. And now the 2-2 pitch. Inside, ball 3. Three balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs and the base is empty. Gausman's pitch. A little bit low, ball 4. So a second walk issued in the inning by Kevin Gausman, who Chris has seemed to battle his control a little bit so far in the second.
Yeah, you can see he's grinding just a little bit. He's a little bit erratic with that fastball. He's kind of locked in with that split finger. I'm surprised that he hasn't thrown it as much as he probably should have in this ball game so far, but he is erratic with that fastball, kind of all over the strike zone. Looks like he's nibbling just a bit.
First pitch delivered to Colt Keith, called strike one with 2 outs and a runner on first. No score, bottom of the second inning. So right on left matchup, and here's the 0-1 pitch from Gausman. Outside, 1-1. Colt Keith, a rookie, 22-year-old second baseman. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Keith swinging out of his shoes on that one. It's 1-2.
A good elevated fastball there. Danny Jansen had that target up and in at the hands of Colt Keith. Kevin Gausman missed his spot just a little bit, but it was still elevated enough to get over the bat of Colt Keith. Good pitch right there.
Gausman looking for a strikeout to end the inning. Sets, kicks, delivers, and it's fouled off to the left. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And now I'm sure they'll try to bury a split finger here. Colt Keith was right on that fastball, although that fastball was middle. I'm sure they'll try to bury something here.
The 1-2. They do end up burying that splitter, but Keith lays off of it, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Keith did a good job laying off of that good split finger right there. I think it started a little bit too low. Like when you throw that specifically the split finger or a changeup, you want it to look like a strike out of the hand, and I think that started just a little bit low.
Runner on first is Torkelson after the 2-out walk. 2-2. Barely missed outside with the fastball. Really close, but it's a full count.
Kevin Gausman wanted those. Those shoulders kind of dropped. He was a little bit disappointed he didn't get that call there.
Gausman turns, throws over to first. Torkelson is going to get second base. It's a balk on Kevin Gausman.
I'm not quite sure what happened there. It looked clean to me. Nobody's arguing, so I'm assuming that Kevin Gausman knows what he did.
He has at times in the past had umpires get on him about does he come to a full stop.
Well, if you're picking off to first base, you don't have to come to a full stop. That's what I'm saying. Watching him, it looked clean, so I'm assuming something.
3-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Gausman erases the 2-out walk with a strikeout of Keith and sends us to the 3rd inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting, because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He's at the track, at the wall. He leaps, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Markham and Richmond Hill. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Jack Flaherty on the mound. And here's his first pitch to Dalton Varsho in a scoreless game, top of the third. It's a first pitch strike with a breaking ball, 0-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Chris, you were mentioning Flaherty's single-digit number. Number 9 is the starter. And the next pitch curve lands low. Check swing, appeal to third. It's called strike 2 after the appeal yields a strike from Alfonso Marquez at third. So you were mentioning the single-digit numbers. Well, Sportsnet's Blake Murphy, acting as a off-the-clock statistician, has given me a note there. 0-2 pitch high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Blake says the Tigers are the first American League team ever with 3 pitchers wearing single-digit numbers.
I mean, it looks weird to see him out there with a single-digit number.
1-2. Got him at the knees with a fastball. Strike 3. Varsho goes down to start the top of the third.
Flaherty's stuff isn't overpowering. His fastball is 93 to 95. Slider curve change. Kind of the prototypical repertoire for a starting pitcher. But he's such a good pitcher. He knows exactly what he's doing out there. We mentioned just the 8 walks in 54 and 2/3 innings. It's incredible to watch. It's a clinic out there.
His first pitch to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, breaking ball low, 1-0. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer. Tom Young, Andrew Adams, our technical directors. 1-0 inside, and IKF in the driver's seat ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Flaherty winds, kicks, delivers, and IKF slams the ball down the left field line, way back and gone. Home run, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, his 3rd of the season. And in the top of the 3rd inning, the Blue Jays jump out to a 1-0 lead.
And you don't see that very often. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa hitting a baseball and flipping the bat, kind of watching it go. Normally, they're just wall scrapers, 360, 370. But that one, he got all of it, and he loved every minute of that.
He slips right into the home run jacket, heads back into the dugout as the Blue Jays have an early lead in Detroit. 1-0 with 1 out. The pitch to Kevin Kiermaier, who shows bunt, pulls back 1-0.
And against Jack Flaherty, a guy who doesn't make many mistakes, he fell behind IKF there, and IKF took advantage of the fact that he was going to get something in the strike zone.
Next pitch to Kiermaier, hit on the ground is short, picked up by Baez, slings it over to first. And that's going to be the 2nd out of the inning.
And that was a pretty swing, not from Kevin Kiermaier, from IKF. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind.
No, that's okay. 1-0 Blue Jays thanks to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. He homers off Jack Flaherty. Now 2 outs after the Kiermaier ground out. Nobody on, top of the 3rd. Davis Schneider is up for the Blue Jays. Flaherty, glove overhead, now offers. Missed down and away, 1-0. Schneider struck out to start the 1st inning. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a foul back on a hittable fastball there. 1-1.
Big swing right there. Probably not the pitch that you want to have that big swing on. It was on the outer 3rd. You want to just simplify that swing and try to go gap to gap there.
1-1, similar pitch, similar result as he fouls it off to the right, 1-2.
Yeah, when he gets those big swings like that, if it's a pitch on the inner 3rd, that's where he does damage. But those 2 fastballs from Flaherty were very well located on the outside part of the plate.
The 1-2. Missed inside with the curveball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Schneider hitting .246 coming into this one. 5 homers, 19 RBIs. 2-2. Bounced through the legs of the catcher, Kelly, and actually caught him on the way. They'll give Kelly a second here as Flaherty walks to the plate to get a new ball from Lance Barrett.
Yeah, I might have just clipped him. He's struggling right now.
Punched over for a moment, up on his feet, walking around. Pitch clock off for a second. Flaherty's just going to kind of de-dirt his cleats. And it looks like we're ready to go. Davis Schneider stepping back in the box. 2 outs, full count. Base is empty. 1-0 Blue Jays thanks to the IKF homer this inning. Payoff pitch. Pardon me, that was the 2-2. It misses down and away. And now we're at a full count. .6'4" righty tucks it into his glove. Winds. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Schneider goes over top of the breaking ball, and that's a second strikeout this inning for Flaherty. However, the Blue Jays jump in front thanks to the Isaiah Kiner-Falefa solo home run. It's 1-0 Toronto, middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Don't miss a moment of baseball season with MLB Network Radio, including daily interviews with the decision makers from across the league on Sirius XM Channel 89.
Dodgers manager Dave Roberts.
Looking forward to talking some baseball.
It's Managers at the Mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89. And if you miss any of our Manager at the Mic interviews throughout the week, you can find them on the all-new Sirius XM app. Search MLB.
I always love talking baseball with you guys.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Harry Kane finishes off the game.
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and you're home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is Sirius XM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new Sirius XM app.
Network. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Hit a home run on your next home improvement. For a great selection of renovation products and quality brands, Timber Mart has the bases loaded for a grand slam on every project. Batter up. Timber Mart is Canada's building center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young and Andrew Adams, our technical directors. Veteran Javi Baez leads off, and the first pitch from Gausman in the bottom of the third is called strike 1. 1-0 Blue Jays. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa with his third homer of the year in the top of the third inning has given Gausman a lead to work with. His 0-1 to Baez. Misses outside. The rare breaking ball from Gausman will flip that slider in about 10%, maybe a little bit more of the time. He misses, though, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Gausman in the set, kicks, delivers. Swing and a miss on the splitter, 1-2.
And that's the thing. When you get ahead of a guy like Javi Baez who loves to swing the bat, you have to expand. You can't throw anything in the heart of the plate, especially when you're ahead 0-1, 1-2. Throw something.
1-2 pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 3. Bounce the splitter in there. Baez swings over it. 4 strikeouts for Kevin Gausman and 7 outs recorded so far.
And that was executed to perfection. A split finger that looked like a strike down at the bottom of that zone and then dropped right off the table. Javi Baez swinging well over it.
So 1 out now, and the base is empty. 1-0 Blue Jays over Tigers in the first of 4. And here in the bottom of the third, the catcher and 9-hitter Carson Kelly comes up. Right-handed hitter, the pitch. Swing and a foul back, 0-1. Kelly hitting .216 on the year, 2 doubles and a homer, 9 RBIs. Oh, 1. Fouled back, 0-2. Kelly, although not from Toronto, actually spent some of his childhood in Toronto and the GTA. A guy who was born in the Midwest, moved for most of his childhood to Oregon as his dad, Mike, worked as a marketing ambassador for Nike. 0-2 pitch, called strike 3 with the splitter. Kelly goes down. Back-to-back Ks for Gausman, and there are 2 outs.
Another good split finger. You can tell he's hit another gear in this inning. He's found something, throwing a lot of good fastballs and a lot of good split fingers. Couple Ks too.
Gausman has actually struck out 3 in a row, going to the end of the bottom of the second when he got Colt Keith, then Baez, then Kelly. And here comes Riley Green, top of the order for the Tigers, with 2 outs and the bases empty. 1-0 the score. First pitch, ripped at and missed. Another good splitter, strike 1.
And now you expand. You're ahead in the count, 0-1. To a guy like Riley Green, who has 9 home runs, you do have to be careful, even with 2 outs.
Green in his 3rd season, trying to get to 100 games and stay a little bit healthier than recent years. 0-1, swing and a miss. He had him falling over on that splitter, 0-2.
Yeah, that thing is absolutely nasty right now. Dropping off the table.
Gausman sets. The kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Kevin Gausman strikes out the side. Has 6 on the day and 3 scoreless innings so far. 1-0. The Blue Jays lead the Tigers in Detroit after 3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The conference finals are here.
It is over. The Rangers win and advance to the Final Four.
And the place to hear your NBA and NHL hometown announcers is the Sirius XM app.
The Boston Celtics are going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
When the games mean the most, you want that local perspective.
An epic best-of-7 battle.
Syncing your hometown announcers to the action is easier than ever. Listen at home on your smart speaker or phone with the all-new Sirius XM app.
He scores! Are you kidding me?
Each night after the horn sounds, NBA Radio has you covered with the best analysis of all the games.
When healthy, they check a lot of boxes.
We'll break down the playoff action.
Tatum saw it coming, picked it off, drives in, and throws it down with 2 hands.
And take you inside the locker room to hear from the players and coaches.
It seemed like we had a lot of guys that were getting banged up, but we were able to get the job done.
Hear the NBA Radio Playoffs postgame show every night throughout the postseason on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 4th inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Top of the 4th, 1-0 Blue Jays. Danny Jansen leads off, and the pitch from Jack Flaherty, swing and a miss. Strike 1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Jansen 0 for 1, struck out on a fastball in the 2nd inning. 0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. This will be the last I talk of single-digit number pitchers because it just can't be that interesting. But some pointing out online, Chris, as we should have remembered, Alek Manoah, who will pitch tomorrow, is number 6. Here's the 1-1, and Jansen rips it to left field. On a line, it's down in front of Matt Vierling for a base hit.
I don't know why I didn't remember Alek Manoah. I just immediately thought of Marcus Stroman.
And Stroman did after starting as 54, also wear number 6 for the Blue Jays. Danny Jansen aboard here with nobody out. Third Blue Jay hit today, and here comes Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with a runner on first. Flaherty working from the stretch. The righty peeks over his shoulder, fires home, and Guerrero fouls it off 0-1. Let's look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every plate. Your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. 1-0 Blue Jays in the fourth. The 0-1. Guerrero hits foul again. 0-2. Lots of teams with off days today, being a Thursday, but the Yankees and the Mariners wrapped up a 4-game series in the Bronx. Mariners won the first 2 games. Yankees won yesterday, and they won again today, shutting out Seattle in a 5-0 victory. 0-2 to Vlad. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Breaking ball low of the zone. Guerrero chases, and there's 1 out. In the Yankee game today, Chris, Aaron Judge hit his 15th homer of the season. For a guy who was batting below 200 at the end of April, he has been probably even hotter than Vlad, I might say.
Well, more homers.
And
definitely
he's hitting for a high 300s average right now in the month of May. He has just been tearing the cover off the ball. 1 out, and Bo Bichette stepping up to the plate. Danny Jansen on first after a leadoff single. Our out-of-town score is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. The right-on-right pitch. Down, 1 ball and no strikes.
And I know you saw how well Luis Gil pitched. He has been incredible recently. He's 6 in his last 7 games. He's 6-0 with a 1.52 ERA. He walked 7 guys against the Jays at one point.
1-0 pitch fouled off, 1-1.
I think at one point I said he should be sent down to AAA because it was absurd how many balls he was throwing.
Yeah, I mean, he was, all stuff, but maybe not that much polish when the Blue Jays saw him in just the 3rd series of the season. But boy, has that turned around. 1-1 pitch to Bichette inside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Gil went 6 1/3, gave up 1 hit, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts for the Yankees today.
And that's why I'm not Brian Cashman.
No. Neither of us are. 2-1. Swing and a foul tip into the glove by Bichette. Fairly center cut fastball, but he couldn't connect on it. It's 2-2. Bo had the first Blue Jays hit today, a line drive to right field in the second. Facing a 2-2 count, the kick and offering. Down and in. Good take from Bichette, who backs out of the way. Ball 3. One 1-0 Blue Jays, top of the 4th. 1 out and a runner on first. Here's Flaherty's offering. Bichette reaches down and away and pokes the ball to right field. Down for a base hit. Jansen motoring around second. He heads to third and will get in safely. I don't know how Bo Bichette reached that pitch. That almost bounced in the opposite batter's box, but he flares it into right. Jansen's on third. It's a 2-hit day for Bichette.
And he is so good at hitting those tough pitches and finding a way to get on base. He knew what he was doing there. He knew that's really all he could do with that baseball. He hits a weak fly ball just beyond the outreach glove of the second baseman, Cole Keith.
Now the first pitch to Daniel Vogelbach, called strike 1.
He is so smart when he is going well. When he's seeing the baseball, he does that. Honestly, he does that often.
Bichette with the majority of his hits going to right field this year. Turn and a throw over to first. And Bo gets back in safely. Wonder if the Blue Jays try to do what some teams have done to them this year, go for some sort of first and third steal. And part of me, no, they're calling Bichette out at first base. He has been picked off of first. And there are now 2 down. So just a runner on third. And here's the 0-1 to Daniel Vogelbach. It misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And that can't happen. If you're Bo Bichette, you have to know better than that. You have a guy on third base, less than 2 outs. That's an easy run there. All Vogelbach has to do is hit a fly ball somewhere, and it's a 2-0 ball game. That cannot happen.
1-1 pitch at the knees. Strike 2. Vogelbach with 4 RBIs on the year. Came into the game hitting 167, 3 doubles and a homer. 1-2. Down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now I guess Vogie, he just has to get a base hit. Pretty easy.
For anyone, that's I don't know how easy it is against Flaherty this year. 2-2. Tough take, pitch just outside, and Vogelbach spins back. It's ball 3.
Yeah, Flaherty didn't like that call. That looked like it caught a little bit of the black on the outside corner. I think Vogie got away with one there.
Vogelbach's going to ask for time. It's granted by Lance Barrett. Flaherty licks his fingers, flips the ball out of his glove into his bare hand, and steps back on the rubber. 3-2 count, 2 outs. Jansen on third, the pitch. Swing and a bouncer to the right side. Picked up by Torkelson at first. He'll step on the bag and end the inning. 2 hits for the Blue Jays, but no runs. 1 left on base, and still a 1-0 Toronto lead, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Show your pride in the heart of Toronto and create core memories. Join us at the ballpark on Friday, June 14th for Pride Night, presented by TD, and get your Blue Jays Rainbow Rope corduroy hat. At the core of who we are. Celebrate Pride and enjoy great Pride Night activities around the ballpark. On Friday, June 14th, arrive early to get your Blue Jays Rainbow Rope corduroy hat giveaway. Pride Night, presented by TD. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
The 0-2 pitch. Fastball, strike 3 looking.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young and Andrew Adams, our technical directors. Blue Jays up 1-0, bottom of the 4th inning. 2-3-4 in the Tiger order with Kevin Gausman on the mound for Toronto. Leadoff hitter for the Tigers is Matt Vierling, the left fielder, who popped out to second in the first. Right on right pitch. A little bit low, ball 1. Vierling in his second season with the Tigers. Came over in a preseason trade last year from the Philadelphia Phillies. 1-0. Swing and a foul ball hit down the right field line. Out of play, 1-1. Vierling, a 5th rounder of the Phillies in 2018 out of Notre Dame. Actually a college teammate of Cavan Biggio in 2016 with the Fighting Irish. 1-1 pitch misses down and away, 2-1. Gausman adjusts the back of his cap. The set and the 2-2. Ugly swing from Vierling, who tried to hold back. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That was a strange swing right there. A good fastball with a lot of sink on the inside part of the plate. And Vierling, I don't even know how to describe that swing. Kind of a half-hearted little bit of a golf swing.
2-2. Swing and a miss on the splitters. Strike 3. Gausman strikes out his 5th batter in a row, 7th of the day, and there's one out in the bottom of the 4th.
Like I said in the first inning, he has a really good feel for that split finger right now. It has a lot of depth to it, and he's throwing it anywhere he wants in that strike zone.
That fastball, to go back 2 pitches ago, I believe that was the new sinker for Gausman. He used to just throw a four-seamer, but now has worked the sinker in as well. First pitch splitter lands in the zone to Wenzel Perez. It's 0-1. John Schneider commented on it pregame. They don't want him to get married to it, but with a fairly straightforward game plan against Gausman, it is a good mix. Next pitch looked like that sinker again, misses outside, 1-1.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to get married to that sinker. Sometimes throwing that true four seam, that straighter ball, especially when you're coming into guys, is more effective.
1-1. Hit well right field. Springer backing up. Leans over, makes the catch. So a Tiger puts the ball in play for the first time since the second inning, but it's another out for Gausman. And there are 2 down in the bottom of the 4th. Blue Jays still up 1-0.
I'll tell you what, Gausman looks incredibly comfortable out there. I know it's early in this ball game, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but he looks very comfortable.
Gausman in his 10th start of the year, and Schneider had also mentioned pregame, guys like Bassett yesterday, Gausman today. They want to get back on track. They want to get to their regular career numbers that they haven't hit so far this season. First pitch to Kerry Carpenter, the left-handed hitter. Outside, ball 1.
Did you notice he added something to the mustache?
Is it like the
little hair under the lip?
Oh, okay. Soul patch combo?
Like a tombstone mustache.
1-0 pitch hit foul, 1-1.
How do you feel about that?
I'm pro pretty much all facial hair. Pretty much everything. Clean-shaven right fielder Carpenter rests the bat on his left shoulder, popping it off slightly. 1-1. Slice back foul, 1-2. Gausman sitting on 7 strikeouts already today. He's not even through 4 innings of work yet. 8 is his season high. Struck out 8 and 5 1/3 scoreless at Washington early in the month. Gausman steps on the rubber, grabs the front of the brim, then the back of the cap, tucks the ball in his glove. And the 1-2. Splitter fouled off. Carpenter bouncing around a bit. He fouled that one off his back leg.
Really good pitch selection there. I can almost guarantee that Kevin Gausman wanted that split finger a little bit further down. He kind of threw it down the middle, giving Carpenter at least a chance at fouling it off. If that thing starts at the bottom of the zone, Blue Jays are hitting right now.
You want that pitch in the dirt even?
Yeah, you can bury it, but you still want to make it look hittable out of the hands.
1-2. Another splitter, this time laid off by Carpenter. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Like that one right there. That one was at the very bottom of that strike zone and then broke down. I think that if it's over the middle of the plate, that's a swing and miss, but it started almost on the black off the plate, so a good hitter's not going to swing at that pitch.
2-2. Swing and a fly ball left field. Varsho racing back at the track, looks up, and that's going to be a foul ball. It clanked off the sidewall, just missed the foul pole for a solo home run, and Carpenter takes a long walk back to first.
Yeah, that looked like it was foul by about 2 feet. Carpenter was hustling down to first base, didn't know if it was going to be fair or foul, and that thing ended up just slicing just a little bit foul.
So they'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs and the base is empty. 1-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the 4th. Gausman sets. And delivers. Popped up foul out of play. Still 2-2. Pretty good battle going on. Kerry Carpenter has seen 7 pitches in this plate appearance, and he's fouled off 5 pitches to get to 2-2. Gausman's next offering. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Went to the slider to get him. And that's 8 Ks in 4 innings for Kevin Gausman. He has the Blue Jays on top right now. 1-0 through 4. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sunday, Sirius XM puts you in the driver's seat.
Oh man, I've wanted this race for so long.
At 9 a.m. Eastern, Formula One takes center stage on Channel 81.
Max Verstappen wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
Then at noon, we'll take you to the Brickyard on Channel 85.
Joseph Newgarden will win the Indianapolis 500-mile race.
And at 5, NASCAR's Coca-Cola 600 on Channel 90.
Oh, gosh, I feel good.
Hear it all on the all-new Sirius XM app. Spread the word. Anyone can enjoy Sirius XM in the car during our Listen Free event. Now through June 3rd. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues. Right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy playoff basketball to reacting to the NFL draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
We're talking college basketball on ACC Today.
Great run for NC State men's basketball. The story of this team is one I don't think anybody will forget.
They were able to accomplish a lot. They captured the hearts and the minds of the nation. DJ Burns became an absolute star nationally.
I love it.
ACC Today, weekdays from 8 to 11 a.m. Eastern. ACC Radio, Channel 371, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and your home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is Sirius XM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new Sirius XM app.
Radio Network.
The fifth inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance, helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance, insurance with a heart so big, it shows. George Springer hitting, Jack Flaherty pitching, and the first one from the righty starter is in there, strike one. 1-0 Blue Jays over Tigers, top of the fifth inning. I'm Ben Schulman, to my left, Chris LaRue. 0-1. Springer swings and misses. That'll be no balls and 2 strikes. Flaherty playing with it in his glove. Now the 0-2. Went down and away with a breaking ball, bounced it. Count goes to 1-2. Springer has made a habit of really hitting against the Detroit Tigers. He is one of 5 guys active in Major League Baseball with an over 300 average and 500 slugging percentage against Detroit. The 1-2 pitch hit on the ground to second. Springer stumbles out of the box. It's picked up by Keefe, who throws over to first. There's one out. Let's take a look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 1-0 Blue Jays with 1 out in the top of the fifth. And on the south side of Chicago, not too far from where the Blue Jays are in Detroit, the White Sox are hosting the Baltimore Orioles. First of 4 in Chicago. Mike Clevenger and Grayson Rodriguez battle tonight in that one. Our out-of-town scores, again, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Dalton Varsho up. First pitch from Flaherty misses outside. 1-0. Right on left matchup. Varsho struck out looking in the third. Next pitch. Drops in there. That'll be a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike, the count on Varsho. 1 out and the base is empty. Righty Flaherty winds and delivers. Called strike, and it's 2-2. That one looked off the plate outside, and Varsho asking some questions of home plate umpire Lance Barrett.
Yeah, I'm sure Kevin Gausman in that dugout is wondering why he didn't get that one last inning as well. That one clearly looked a little bit off the plate. Tough break for Dalton Varsho.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 gets him on the breaking ball, and there are 2 down.
And that's the thing about that slider, that curveball, that even that changeup from Flaherty, everything looks like a fastball. So it's so hard, and we saw that in that swing right there from Dalton Varsho. It's so hard to anticipate a pitch. Just looks like a fastball out of the hand, so hard to hit, and that's why he's been so successful.
Here's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa with 2 down. The first pitch called a strike. Boy, that one looked high. It's 0-1. Kiner-Falefa's swing in the third is the difference in this 1-0 game. His 3rd home run of the year, sent over the left field wall. 0-1. Called strike 2. And they got all the retired numbers out there. You could have chopped off the second half of IKF's last name. He looked like Ralph Kiner. 0-2 in the dirt. Kiner, not one of the names out there, but still. Two strikes on IKF. The pitch from Flaherty. And it's bounced foul. Count still 1-2.
And if there's one thing Kiner Falefa is good at, it's fighting and staying alive and waiting for that pitcher out there to make a mistake. Although Flaherty doesn't really make many of them.
1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 5th, 1-0 Blue Jays. The pitch. Down and away, 2-2.
Another tough take right there. A lot of hitters would swing and miss at that or just to hit a weak ground ball, but IKF knows that's just off the plate. Good take.
2-2 pitch. Line shot, left center field, and that will split the outfielders Vealing and Perez and roll all the way to the track. IKF around second. He wants third. The throw is cut off. It's a 2-out triple for Isaiah Kiner Falefa.
And I said Flaherty doesn't make many, but he does make some, and he gets one right there. He gets that fastball right down the middle, and he drills a good line drive into the gap in left center. He is seeing the ball well tonight.
Kiner Falefa at one point had gone 0 for 20 in an 8-game stretch, but had 2 hits yesterday, has 2 already today, and he's done the toughest legs of the cycle so far with a home run and a triple already. Flaherty from the stretch delivers to Kevin Kiermaier. It's called strike 1. 2 outs and a runner on third. 1-0 Blue Jays. Top of the 5th at Comerica Park. The 0-1. Swing and a miss by Kiermaier. 0-2. Blue Jays left a runner on third with 2 outs last inning. Trying to avoid doing the same here. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Kiermaier goes down. For Flaherty, his 7th strikeout of the day. And the Blue Jays leave a runner on third after the 2-out triple. 1-0 Toronto, middle of the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Don't miss a Manchester Derby edition of the FA Cup Final on Sirius XM FC. City meets United in a rematch of last year's final, with the Citizens pushing for another League Cup double.
Haaland well inside the area and fires one into the left-hand corner.
While the Red Devils are determined to finally topple their noisy neighbours.
Bruno Fernandes, who spots the keeper on his line.
What a goal.
And scores!
Man City versus Man United in the FA Cup Final. Coverage begins Saturday at 10 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track Sunday,
5 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Coca-Cola 600 from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Pack and fly, baby. Yeah.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car, and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bottom of the 5th inning, 1-0 Blue Jays. Gio Urshela leading off against Kevin Gausman. Righty's pitch. Swing and a fly ball foul into the seats down the right field line. 0-1. Feels pretty safe to say that at least through 4 innings, this is the best we've seen from Kevin Gausman so far this year. No hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Oh, 1 to Urshela. Swing and a bouncer to the left side, speared by IKF. His throw over to first is in time, and that's a quick out to start the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, and there was a good sinker on the hands of Gio Urshela. He just gets sawed off. Hits a little weak ground ball to IKF at third base.
So with 1 down, here comes 2020 first overall pick out of Arizona State, Spencer Torkelson. 1-0 Blue Jays, and the base is empty. Gausman reaches back and releases. High and outside, 1-0. Torkelson, a star for the Sun Devils, hit 25 home runs as a freshman at Arizona State, breaking Barry Bonds' school record for home runs as a freshman. 1-0 hit foul, 1 ball, 1 strike. Went on to hit 20 homers in his second year, and was just 6 homers from the Arizona State all-time record, and then COVID shut down his final season with the Sun Devils, so we finished with 53 total. Next pitch, big rip and a miss from the right-handed hitting slugger, 1-2. Torkelson crossed paths with a Blue Jay on his rise before being a major leaguer, was teammates with Alek Manoah in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Next pitch in the dirt, 2-2.
What team was that on?
That was the Chatham Anglers in 2018.
I knew that answer. I was just messing with you.
Yeah, I know you knew. But I'm still going to take the opportunity to say it. Gausman sets, delivers. And a swing and a pop-up back of second. Kevin Kiermaier will race in and call off the middle infielders. Squeeze it with 2 hands, and there are 2 outs. Let's go to the injury report, brought to you by Bergmanis Prira, personal injury lawyers. Life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company. Get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Prira, personal injury lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Prira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. Chad Green threw today for the Buffalo Bisons. John Schneider said he's feeling good after his 12-pitch appearance. 2 outs, and Colt Keith to the plate for the Tigers. Right on left matchup. Gausman's pitch. Hit foul down the left field line. 0-1.
How many more outings is he going to need down there in Buffalo?
It's a good question. So it's a second scoreless inning in a row for Green. Did walk 1, but that was the only damage. They have Green and Bowden Francis in Toronto, said Schneider, and they're figuring out the next steps right now. So first the 0-1 hit foul, 0-2. So that could mean the next step is driving to Detroit or meeting up with the team in Chicago, or it could mean another trip to Buffalo. But not immediately saying that it's Buffalo is at least a better sign. Here's the 0-2, bounce the splitter. Gausman bouncing up and down on the side of the mound, looking a little frustrated at that one. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Bowden stays down for a little bit longer, just because he's the long guy. He needs to be built up a little bit more, but the Blue Jays could badly need Chad Green right now.
2 down, 1-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the 5th, and the pitch. Fastball at the knees, called strike 3. Make it 9 Ks today for Kevin Gausman, who gets another 1-2-3 inning here in the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Blue Jays headed to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He makes the catch, and the Blue Jays win the ball game.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Top of the sixth, 1-0 Blue Jays in the top of the order. Davis Schneider hitting. Here's the pitch from Jack Flaherty, the Tigers starter. It's outside 1-0. Davis Schneider's 0 for 2 today. Flaherty has struck him out swinging twice. 1-0. Downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Kevin Gausman's dominance has probably overshadowed what's been a great start so far for Jack Flaherty as well. In 5 innings, he's given up 5 hits, 1 run, and struck out 7. 2-0 pitch, down and away, and Schneider had 3 balls and no strikes. Half swing from the right-handed hitter. Here's the 3-0. Upstairs, ball 4. First walk of the day for Flaherty, a guy who's rarely walked hitters this year. Just his 9th walk of the season, a 4-pitch walk to Schneider to start the 6th.
Yeah, that's an extreme rarity from Jack Flaherty, a 4-pitch walk. You really don't see those that often.
So a runner on here in the top of the 6th. 1-0 Blue Jays. Danny Jansen up, who's 1 for 2. Flaherty kicks and fires. Called strike on the inside edge. This 6th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance, helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance, insurance with a heart so big, it shows. Flaherty peeks over at first, delivers home. And it's a called strike on the outside edge. Jansen craning his neck. It's 0-2. Flaherty struck out Jansen on a fastball in the first before his single to left in the 4th. 0-2 pitch, upstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander sets with the glove, pressed out from his chest. 1-2. Missed outside. It was a close pitch, but dropped by the catcher, Kelly. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The right-on-right pitch. Jansen bounces it foul down the third baseline. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jansen hitting a miraculous .319 coming into the game, up to .324 after the base hit. We just haven't seen stretches like this from Jansen. Even when he's been at his best, he's been a lot more power than average in the past. Turn and throw over to first, and Schneider is back in safely.
And I think the biggest difference is he's swinging at good pitches. He's fighting off, just like that last pitch from Flaherty. It was a tough slider. He's fouling off those tough pitches, and then he's getting mistakes, and he's not missing the mistakes.
2-2. Called strike 3 on the outside edge. A perfect pitch, a curveball on the corner to strike out Jansen. 8 Ks for Flaherty and 1 out in the top of the 6th.
And he knew it just as that slider was crossing home plate. Danny Jansen started walking back to that dugout. Good pitch from Flaherty on the outside part of the plate.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. about to hit for the Blue Jays. Looking to get aboard for the first time today. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Schneider on first, and the pitch. Down and away, ball 1. Let's go over to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. Mentioned earlier that the White Sox and the Orioles are facing off right now. That one in Chicago, and Grayson Rodriguez has pitched himself into some trouble in the first inning. As the next pitch to Vladdy is called a strike, certainly looked off the plate outside, but it's 1-1. Rodriguez loaded the bases in the first, walked in a run, so the White Sox are up 1-0 on the Orioles. Rodriguez did get out of that first inning and strand the bases loaded, but the White Sox with an early lead. 1-1 to Vlad. Takes downstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And Davis Schneider, who has 3 stolen bases this season, is standing on first base. I would love for him to do something here.
Interestingly, the Blue Jays hitter Guerrero is actually getting shifted to the opposite side of the field by the Tigers infield. 2-1 pitch is hit in the air. Deep right center field, way back, but caught on the track by Kerry Carpenter. Davis Schneider went all the way to second. He'll trot back to first. And in a lot of ballparks, that might have been a home run for Guerrero, but in one of the deeper yards in baseball, it stays in and is the second out.
Yeah, you're right. Comerica is a huge park, not a bandbox.
Quite the opposite.
It is a graveyard. And Guerrero hits that baseball where the fence kind of jets out, and he just misses a home run, probably 10 feet.
It's a good ballpark if you want to hit triples, but not as much if you want to hit homers. First pitch to Bo Bichette, called a strike, and this zone is getting pretty big. It's 0-1. 1-0 Blue Jays. Top of the 6th. Toronto trying to make Jack Flaherty pay for the leadoff walk to Davis Schneider. He's on first. 0-1 to Bichette. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Bo with hits to right field in each of his at-bats so far today. Pinwheels his black bat. Gets ready for the 0-2. Flaherty in the set. The pitch. Swing and a hard ground ball, foul ball down the left field line. Still no balls and 2 strikes.
Tigers are almost playing Bichette straight up. That tells you that he is one of those few guys in Major League Baseball that can hit the baseball to any part of the field.
Oh, 2 again. Bounced the breaking ball. Bichette leaned all the way down and looked like he had to use everything in his mind to hold back from swinging. He did hold back, and it's 1-2. Bo came up with the first home run for the Blue Jays in the cleanup spot this season when he homered yesterday to center. 1-2. And he hits the ball in the air to right field, charging in a slide-in catch by Carpenter. 2 nice catches from the Tigers right fielder this inning, and that will strand the Blue Jays leadoff walk and end the inning. 1-0 Blue Jays, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The most comfortable place for me is stepping onto a stage and looking into the eyes of my wife going, all right, here we go. I'm Chris Stapleton. My Sirius XM channel is where I share the songs and stories that have shaped my life.
Ooh, I love you.
The kings and queens of country, rock, and soul. And some songs that are going to surprise you. That's Chris Stapleton Radio. Join me on Channel 63 and the Sirius XM app.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into SiriusXM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' 3rd national title.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Kevin Gausman still on the mound in the first pitch of the bottom of the sixth. There's a splitter for strike one. 1-0 Blue Jays. Only base runners Gausman has allowed so far are 2 walks that came in the second. It's the second time in this game that he faces Javi Baez. 0-1. Inside, Baez jackknifes out of the way. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And like we mentioned in Javi Baez's last at bat, he's a guy that when you get ahead, you can expand the zone because he loves to swing at pitches outside of the strike zone, expand up and bury that splitty.
1-1 pitch, line foul to the right side, 1-2. Baez in the third year of his 6-year, $140 million contract with the Tigers. Multiple-time All-Star, Silver Slugger, and Gold Glover. And he's going to ask for time. It's granted, so Gausman will step off the rubber. Baez, though, has really had trouble replicating those seasons with Chicago in the half season with the New York Mets that he has in Detroit. 1-2 is lined to left field and down for a base hit. First hit of the day for the Tigers is off the bat of Baez. He's on first with nobody out.
It was the right pitch selection, but that split finger was right down the middle. Didn't really drop out of the strike zone like Kevin Gausman wanted. And Javi Baez, he can hit pitches that are down the middle over the heart of the plate, and he doesn't miss that one. Drops the barrel and hits a good line drive to left field, breaking up that no-hitter.
So Baez aboard, and now the first pitch to Carson Kelly, grounded foul, 0-1. Mentioned last time Kelly was up that he spent some time in the GTA growing up. His dad worked for Nike, so he was moving a little bit back and forth between Oregon, where Nike's headquartered, and Toronto. 0-1 pitch is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. He actually, Carson Kelly, spent 2 seasons playing for the Markham Mariners, including apparently a call-up one time. And the guy who was playing on Markham the year above him, that was really notable, the third baseman, Jordan Romano. Next pitch is a ball, and it's 2-1.
The most shocking thing about that story is the fact that Jordan Romano is playing third base.
Well, he's got that. I mean, he was pitching too.
Okay.
But you got the cannon arm.
Well, he doesn't really have a third baseman's physique.
It's fair. Next pitch is hit in the air, deep left field. Varsho going back, and that ball's foul. Carson Kelly just placed that one in the corner. If it's a few feet over to the right, that's extra bases and probably a run for the Tigers. Baez was already around second, headed for third by the time that ball landed. But instead, it's a 2-2 count.
Yeah, that Little Caesars advertisement down that left field line is getting peppered tonight.
2-2, nobody out. Baez on first, 1-0 Blue Jays in the bottom of the sixth. Gausman turns, throws over to first. Baez is back in safely. Baez has 6 stolen bases this year.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that he hasn't taken off yet. I was expecting him to go right away as soon as he got to first base.
Now the 2-2. Hit foul, still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The interesting thing, though, is Baez over at first base doesn't really have much of a lead. He doesn't look like he's trying to go or even attempt to go.
Guerrero holding him on, playing just in front of him. Next pitch. Ball 3, and it's a full count. Gausman struck out Kelly looking on a splitter in the third. 9 strikeouts today, a season high already for Kevin Gausman. The 3-2. Baez takes off, and the pitch is hit to left field, down for a base hit. Baez stops at second as Varsho charged in on it. Back-to-back singles for the Tigers, and 2 aboard with nobody out.
And that was just a four-seam fastball, thigh high, right down the middle. Carson Kelly does a good job, not trying to do too much with that. Just hits a good line drive into left field, right at Dalton Varsho. Now you really have to make good pitches. You're only up 1-0. So you have to make good pitches. You have to put pressure on this Tigers offense.
Gausman trying to avoid a similar fate to his last start, where he pitched 5 scoreless and then gave up 3 runs to the Twins in the 6th. Blue Jays were up 4-0 in that game, or pardon me, to the Rays, ended up losing 5-4. First and second, nobody out. 1-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the 6th. Here's Riley Green for the 3rd time today. Gausman staring at second, fires home. Swing and a miss on the splitter, strike 1.
It's a good first pitch right there. Now you have to expand. Riley Green has a lot of power, 9 homers this year. He can easily run into one here.
Gausman struck him out swinging twice so far. 0-1. Missed downstairs with the splitter, 1-1. Third time through is another thing to watch for Gausman. This year, batters have hit .429. Third time they've seen Gausman in a game. His pitch. Bounce to the plate, blocked off the chest of Jansen. 2 balls and 1 strike.
That was a tough block from Danny Jansen. That ball was right behind home plate. Actually, that was in front of home plate. Good job keeping those runners at first and second. Big block from Danny Jansen.
The bearded left-handed hitter, Riley Green, waiting for a 2-1 pitch from Gausman, who's set, staring at second. Now looks home and pitches. Smoke to left field, headed toward the corner, and that's a foul ball by inches. Green took off running, but on a second look, that did just get foul. Maybe 6 inches wide of that chalk.
Yeah. That was a gift for the Toronto Blue Jays and Kevin Gausman. Now you really have to dig deep and make a good pitch right here.
That near miss on a double does even up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I'm sure Riley Green is thinking that Kevin Gausman is going to throw a split finger down in the zone. We'll see how he attacks him right here.
2-2. High fastball, cut on and missed. Strike 3.
And just like I said, he was expecting something soft down in the zone, and then Kevin Gausman, sure enough, goes hard up right at the letters of Riley Green, and he swings right underneath it. Good pitch selection.
10 Ks today for Kevin Gausman. The first time he has struck out double digits this year, a feat he did a whopping 9 times last season. Still trouble to deal with, though. Gausman delivers to Matt Vierling and misses in the dirt, 1-0. Javi Baez is on second. Carson Kelly is on first. They both came up with singles this inning, the first 2 Tigers hits of the day. 1-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the 6th inning. Gausman nods in agreement with the call over the pitch comm. Bouncing on his front left foot. Stops, delivers. And it's rolled over softly to short. Picked up by Bichette. His only play is over to first, and he'll throw over there to get Vierling. Both runners advance 90 feet. Because that one was pounded so much into the ground, Bichette really had no option to even get the lead runner at second, let alone try and turn 2.
Yeah, that fastball in on the hands of Vierling just ate him up. Hit a weak ground ball to Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette was coming in. He couldn't really turn his body and throw to second base. His only play was first, but now there's 2 outs. Big pitches coming up here.
Second and third, 2 down. Wenzel Perez, the rookie, is up. Left-handed hitter right now. The pitch. Called strike 1.
And remember, there is that open base at first base. Now that you're ahead in the count, you can start to nibble. You can expand that strike zone. You can bury that split if you want to.
Switch hitter Perez has struck out and lined out, both from the left side. 0-1. Just missed away with the splitter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gausman at 93 pitches right now. Brampton's Zack Pop getting loose in the bullpen in left field. 1-1. Splitter for strike 2 at the knees. Perez doesn't like it. The rookie turning around and talking to Lance Bear at the home plate ump.
No, Perez doesn't like that call, but that is a pitcher's pitch. That's a great split finger right at the bottom of that strike zone.
Gausman a strike away from getting out of it. Second and third, 2 down. The pitch. Went down and away with the splitter, and Perez didn't bite. 2-2.
I wouldn't mind an elevated heater right here. Perez has seen a lot of split fingers.
That's what he did. 2 batters to go to Riley Green for the first out of the inning. Gausman has 10 strikeouts. Righty kicks and fires. And a high fastball. Good call. Fouled back. Still 2-2.
Well, I mean, I never had the stuff that Kevin Gausman had, so I had to learn how to pitch. And it was fun playing with hitters, but Kevin Gausman obviously has the mid-90s fastball and can just blow fastballs by guys.
I never learned how to pitch or have the stuff. 2-2 again. Splitter low. Ball 3. Perez shaking his head. It does look like he's got a pretty good feel for the splitter at this point.
Yeah, the more you see, the more you can tell what it is out of the hands. And he's seen about 4 or 5 split fingers during this at-bat. Couple heaters.
Hasn't seen the slider yet.
He hasn't, but I'd flip another splitter in here.
3-2. Is lined up the middle into center field, a base hit. Baez in to score. Around third, Kelly trying to score. The throw from Kiermaier in time. He got him, and that's the inning. The first run will count to tie up the game on an RBI single by Wensil Perez, but an outfield assist from Kevin Kiermaier keeps it 1-1 after 6. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The Fork and Knifer, Splatterer, Condiment Queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hey, this is Trevor Richards. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 7th inning, 1-1 game now. Blue Jays and Tigers. Wensil Perez tied it up with a 2-out RBI single off Kevin Gausman in the bottom of the 6th, but the back runner, Carson Kelly, thrown out by Kevin Kiermaier trying to score. And so it's still 1-1. Jack Flaherty, the Tigers starter, still on the mound. On 91 pitches, he delivers the first one of the 7th and misses outside to Daniel Vogelbach.
Danny Jansen actually did a good job catching that short hop throw from Kevin Kiermaier in center field. And then coming across the plate to make that tag.
1-0. Misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. Blue Jays have 5, 6, 7 hitting this inning. Vogelbach the first one, the 2-0. Buckled by a 2-0 breaking ball, called strike 1. George Springer and Dalton Varsho will also hit this inning for the Blue Jays, whose lone run came in the 3rd inning on an Isaiah Kiner-Falefa homer. 2-1 pitch. Called strike 2. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young and Andrew Adams, our technical directors. Flaherty at 95 pitches now. 1 walk, 8 Ks, the 2-2. And Vogelbach slams it right center field and deep. That ball's off the wall. Vogelbach will have to stop at first. He was 10 feet maybe from missing a home run to the deepest part of the yard. Instead, it's a booming single.
Well, I think he's a little bit disappointed with himself because he took about 2 or 3 slow steps out of that batter's box. I think that if he runs hard, he gets all the way to second base, and they're going to pinch run for him here.
Kevin Biggio has entered the game. Makes sense in the DH spot. That one, there's a yellow line out in center, and it just went under the yellow line. It's 412 to dead center field. And for a lot of center field at Comerica Park. So Biggio on first, no outs. Here's Springer. The pitch. Swinging a fly ball foul, 0-1.
And I know that Daniel Vogelbach is happy that he got that base hit, but you can tell he's a little bit disappointed with the effort level out of the box. He's in the dugout right now, and I kind of read his lips and said, that's my fault, which means he needs to run hard out of the box, and he should be standing on second base, or Kevin Biggio should be standing on second base.
0-1 pitch in there, 0-2. Biggio representing the go-ahead run in this 1-1 game. Takes his lead off first. Flaherty peeks at him and fires home. Bounced it to the plate, blocked by Kelly, 1-2. Two groundouts today for George Springer, 1 to short, 1 to second. Hitting 192 now on the season. 1 ball, 2 strike count, and Flaherty's 100th pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Springer down for the 9th Flaherty strikeout of the day and the first out of the top of the 7th. Let's go back to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Only other game in action right now is the one on the south side of Chicago, where the White Sox are still leading the Baltimore Orioles 1-0. It's the top of the 3rd inning. Top of the 7th in Detroit, and the first pitch to Dalton Varsho misses outside, 1-0. 1-1 game, Blue Jays and Tigers. Varsho has struck out twice, looking in the 3rd, swinging in the 5th. 1-0. Check swing, tapper, foul. Varsho looked a little frustrated on that bad luck strike. It's 1-1. With Flaherty over 100 pitches, Alex Faedo getting loose right now in the Tigers' pen. 1-1. And Varsho jacks the ball to right. Carpenter back at the track, at the wall, out of here. Dalton Varsho leaves the yard to right field, and the Blue Jays jump right back in front. 3-1 Toronto after the 2-run shot.
Well, Vogelbach just missed a home run by about 2 feet. And then Varsho comes up and gets a slider out of over the heart of the plate, and he does not miss it, golfing it out of here. 3-1 Blue Jays.
Varsho donning the Placida jacket, the new home run jacket, and ending the day of Jack Flaherty. A 2-run shot with a runner on first and 1 out makes it 3-1 Blue Jays. Flaherty's day is done. Let's go over to baseball control with our host today, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. And before we get to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, don't forget we do have J-Stock this evening. Blair and Barker have the post-game show. They will take your phone calls after the final out. Blair is here, and he will throw out the numbers when this game is in the books. All right, let's check out the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. We'll start with the Stanley Cup playoffs. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals on the go tonight. The Oilers in Dallas taking on the Stars. Puck drop is in a scant few minutes, mere minutes, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. You can watch that game on Sportsnet. Yesterday, The Eastern Conference Finals off to a good start for the Florida Panthers. They blank the Rangers in New York, 3-0 the final score. Florida stealing home ice and take a 1-0 series lead. Game 2 of that series is tomorrow night, also on Sportsnet and the CBC. The PWHL Finals also off tonight. Boston and Minnesota get back in action tomorrow. The series is currently tied 1-1 after Minnesota won Game 2. The series shifts back to Minneapolis tomorrow night. If you missed this, some big news in Toronto from earlier in the day. The WNBA making it official in the 6th this morning. A franchise will join the league in 2026. No name yet, but team president Teresa Resch saying to the media this morning that she will be in charge. She will be looking to hire a GM soon as the team begins to take shape. And in the NBA, the conference finals underway. Game 2 of the East Finals on the go tonight between the Pacers and the Celtics. Boston leading the series 1-0 entering play. Right now, the Pacers are on top 16-15 with 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Blue Jays baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the action. Here's Ben and Chris.
Thank you very much, Joe. The Blue Jays on top 3-1 after the Dalton Varsho home run. Top of the 7th, 1 out. Alex Faedo, the reliever, drops a curveball on Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to get ahead 0-1. Kiner-Falefa with the other home run for the Blue Jays today. Tall righty Faedo releases a fastball that misses down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Faedo's 6'5", 225 pounds, a right-hander. Here's 1-1. Kiner-Falefa spoils it foul to the right, 1-2.
Well, now that the Blue Jays are up 3-1, I'm wondering who's going to come in this ball game. Is it still going to be Zack Pop? Is it going to be Trevor Richards? Of course, Jimmy Garcia will have the 8th.
Kevin Gausman likely done. Nothing official, but 98 pitches right now. Just gave up his first run of the day right at the end of the bottom of the 6th. 1-2. Curveball missed high.
Yeah, you're right. I'm probably getting ahead of myself. We're not even sure if Kevin Gausman is finished.
But it's fair to. Maybe not totally fair, but pretty fair to assume. Faedo's 2-2. Kiner-Falefa hits it hard to right field. Carpenter races back, reaches up, and makes a running catch in front of the track. Another hard hit ball, but there are 2 down.
He has hit the ball on the screws 3 separate times today. That one right there just missing a double. Carpenter snagging it in right field at the last second up against that wall.
And Vladdy making sure to give some props to Kiner-Falefa there, who's got a homer, a triple, and a loud out to deep right field. So 2 down now, nobody on. Kevin Kiermaier up. First time he'll face the right-hander Faedo. Breaking ball low of the zone. Kiermaier went around on the swing. He doesn't agree. He thought it was a check swing, but it's 0-1. Faedo, a first rounder by the Tigers out of Florida in 2017, went 18th overall. 0-1. Swing and a miss. That was the changeup from Faedo. Has a slider that he uses most often, a 4-seamer and sinker as well. Righty spent time as a starter, but has been in the pen all of this season for Detroit. 0-2. Went back to something off speed. That was the slider. It missed low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kiermaier with a ground out and a strikeout today. 1-2. Bounced it to the plate. That was the change. 2 balls, 2 strikes. For Faedo, his drafting in 2017 came right after he won the College World Series with the Florida Gators. Was on that team with Brady Singer of Kansas City, Jonathan India of Cincinnati, among 3 other major leaguers. 2-2, and Kiermaier slices it to deep left center field. Perez going back, makes the catch on the run at the track, and ends the inning. The Blue Jays scored 2 runs, though, on 2 hits. They take a 3-1 lead thanks to Dalton Varsho's 2-run homers. 7th inning stretch in Detroit, 3-1 Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big. On this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
First pitch swinging, Danny Jansen rocks the ball to left. It's gone!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 7th inning, Blue Jays in Detroit leading 3-1 over the Tigers in the series opener. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Kevin Gausman, marvelous in his start, but his day is over after 6 innings. Zack Pop enters for the Blue Jays with Toronto holding this 3-1 lead. Kerry Carpenter leads off for Detroit, a left-handed hitter. Pop, the righty, kicks and delivers. First pitch sinkers, strike one.
And I think John Schneider is actually starting to like Zack Pop in a little bit higher leverage situations. This is very high leverage right here. And I've said this a few times. Zack Pop has the opportunity to be a high leverage guy, even a closer at some point.
His 0-1 is bounced back to the mound. Pop fields it on a hop, jogs to first, underhand flip, and 1 out.
He's one of the few guys in the major leagues that can throw upper 90s with that fastball, but has incredible sink, incredible run on that fastball. You can tell, or he can tell a guy that that fastball is coming. He is throwing a fastball, and they still just beat it into the ground.
Pop getting an opportunity in the 7th today. More than likely, Trevor Richards unavailable today. He had pitched 3 out of 4 days. First pitch to Gio Urshela. Fastball for strike one. Urshela's 0 for 2. 1 ground ball into a double play in the 2nd. 1 ground out to 3rd in the 5th. The 0-1. Slice foul, 0-2.
So nasty. If he can just hit the bottom of that strike zone, he is going to be very good.
Pop making his 11th appearance of the year. Entered this one with a flat 4 ERA. 0-2. Bounce back to the mound. Fielded by Pop off to his left. He jogs to first and underhand flips. Mirror image outs there for the first 2 off Carpenter and Urshela. Now he tries to solve Torkelson to end the inning.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Ben, it is so hard to make major league hitters do that to fastballs. They know a fastball is coming, but they cannot hit it. 2 weak ground balls from some pretty good hitters.
And Pop's like 75 to 80% fastball. Here's Spencer Torkelson, 0 for 1. Walked in the 2nd inning. Right on right pitch. High, ball 1. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Baltimore Orioles have tied up their game on the south side with the White Sox. Adley Rutschman's RBI single has made it 1-1, Chicago and Baltimore. That's the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 1-0 pitch is hit hard left side, caught on a line by IKF, and that is the 7th inning. Zack Pop comes in and gets a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th. Blue Jays take a 3-1 lead to the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Don't miss a moment of baseball season with MLB Network Radio, including daily interviews with the decision makers from across the league on Sirius XM Channel 89.
Dodgers manager Dave Roberts.
Looking forward to talking some baseball.
It's Managers at the Mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89. And if you miss any of our Manager at the Mic interviews throughout the week, you can find them on the all-new Sirius XM app. Search MLB.
I always love talking baseball with you guys.
Each night after the horn sounds, NBA Radio has you covered with the best analysis of all the games.
When healthy, they check a lot of boxes.
We'll break down the playoff action.
Tatum saw it coming, picked it up, drives in, and throws it down with 2 hands.
And take you inside the locker room to hear from the players and coaches.
It seemed like we had a lot of guys that were getting banged up, but we were able to get the job done.
Hear the NBA Radio Playoffs postgame show every night throughout the postseason on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
It had been 75 years since Los Angeles had hosted the U.S. Open, but a player whose lone PGA Tour win came 6 weeks prior played the lead role in this movie.
Wyndham Clark has played bigger than the biggest names of the game.
The 2023 champion would add another win at Pebble 8 months later. Listen to the 124th U.S. Open beginning June 10th on Sirius XM Channel 92 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 8th inning, Blue Jays at Comerica Park in Detroit, leading 3-1. Top of the order for Toronto, Alex Faedo's pitch to Davis Schneider, called strike 1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. We're here in the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Blue Jays with 2 homers to lead this game. 0-1. Downstairs from Faedo, 1 ball, 1 strike. Faedo's very over the top in his delivery. Has a lot of height anyway at 6'5", but the arm is almost straight up to the sky as he throws to the plate. 1-1. Swing and a miss by Schneider, 1-2.
And he's got a really good breaking ball. You can see with that awkward swing from Davis Schneider. It's not a 12-6, but it's pretty good. Has a lot of depth to it. You can see why they liked him at number 1. Well, not at number 1, but in the first round.
Overall.
In the first round.
1-2. Misses with the slider down and away.
There's a big difference between number 1 and number 18.
It's true. Although he was, as I mentioned, a national champion, won the College World Series, and he won College World Series Most Outstanding Player of the tournament for Florida in 2017. 2-2. Slider down and away again. Full count. Right on right matchup. Full count offering. Schneider lifts it to center field, medium depth. Perez started back, now walks in and makes the catch. 1 out.
Schneider just missed that one. It was a fastball almost right down the middle. Schneider usually destroys those pitches, and he hit it a mile high, just getting underneath that ball.
So he's 0 for 3 now with a walk, and here comes Danny Jansen, who's 1 for 3, singled in the 4th, but was stranded on third base. 3-1 Blue Jays, 1 out and the base is empty. The pitch. Low ball 1. 3-1 and Comerica Park might bring some music to Danny Jansen's ears, especially if he was thinking back to July 9th of last year. 1-0. Outside. 2-0. Last year, the Blue Jays went to Comerica Park right before the All-Star break. Won Game 1. Got no hit in Game 2. And then Game 3, they were trailing 3-1 in the 9th inning. 2-0. Outside ball 3. With a runner on and 2 outs, Danny Jansen hit a home run for the Blue Jays, facing their last chance to tie it at 3-3, and Nathan Lucas came up with the game-winning hit in the 10th for Toronto to take the series win into the break. 3-0. High ball 4. Jansen with a 4-pitch walk has reached for the second time today.
So you're telling me Danny Jansen loves a good 3-1 score?
Yeah, I mean, he's used to flipping it the other way, but he'll take Blue Jays up 3-1. One out, top of the 8th, and after a very well-pitched 7th by Zack Pop, the Blue Jays have Jimmy Garcia getting loose, more than likely to act in a setup role in the 8th inning. Alex Faedo, the lone reliever so far for the Tigers today, came in and got 2 outs in the 7th. Started this inning with an out, but after the walk his pitch to Vlad is inside, 1-0. 5 straight balls thrown by Alex Faedo. Falling behind Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander kicks and deals. Swing and a miss on the slider, 1-1.
Vlad with a huge cut there. You can see that front shoulder flying out. That's something that he hasn't really done all that much recently. He's trying to use the big part of the field, but he knows that Faedo is trying to throw a strike there, and he's guessing fastball. He didn't get one.
1-1 pitch is a fastball hit to left center field, down in the gap. Cut off by Perez. Throw comes back into second, where Guerrero slides in safely with a double. Jansen up to third, and the Blue Jays have 2 in scoring position with 1 out.
And wouldn't you know it, Vlad is helmetless, standing at second base. Good piece of hitting right there. Brings those hands through, hits a line drive to the gap in left field, and he is on his horse trying to get to second base. Helmet goes flying, hair goes flying, and he slides into second base with a double.
Well, like you had a good guess that he was looking fastball, which he definitely was, just hit a fastball to left center. I could have guessed, I think, although a much easier one, that the helmet came off. He took that one off on purpose. But he's on second, helmet back on, Jansen on third, and a big opportunity here for Bo Bichette to give the Blue Jays a little bit more comfort in this game. 3-1 Toronto, 1 out, top of the 8th. Guerrero on second, Jansen on third, the pitch to Bichette. Smoke to left field, base hit. Jansen had to hold up, he'll score. They stopped Vladdy at third as that ball was rocketed to left, but it's an RBI single for Bo Bichette, and now a 4-1 Blue Jays lead.
And the most important thing, if the Blue Jays can go ahead by 4 runs, is they won't have to use Jimmy Garcia. They can sit him down. They still have 6 more games in a row after this. So giving Jimmy Garcia the night off would be very big for that bullpen. But Bo Bichette with a great piece of hitting, a good hard line drive to left field on that tough sinker in.
DH spot is coming up next for the Blue Jays, and they're going to pinch hit here. Daniel Vogelbach was the starter. They pinch ran Biggio last inning, and now Justin Turner comes in to pinch hit for Cavan Biggio. First and third for the Blue Jays, 1 out. First pitch to Turner drops in, strike 1. 4-1 Blue Jays in the 8th. Turner with some productive days his last 2. He walked 3 times in 4 plate appearances yesterday and doubled in 3 at-bats the day before. Next pitch is hit foul. No balls, 2 strikes. What have you seen different from Turner recently?
Well, I think he's been fouling off some tough pitches. When he was going right early on in the season, he was fouling off tough pitches, taking tough pitches, and then he, like I've said 1,000 times tonight, I feel like he makes the pitcher make a mistake, and then he took advantage of that mistake, and that's just something he hasn't done recently.
0-2 pitch is hit up the middle into center field. Guerrero scores. Bichette around second. He's headed to third. It's an RBI single for Justin Turner and a 5-1 Blue Jays lead.
And he had to go down and get that breaking ball that was near the dirt. He does a good job just kind of golfing it up the middle, and that's something he was doing when he was going right. He would take those tough pitches, and he would make something out of nothing, and he does a good job there. Now the Blue Jays are up 5-1, and they can sit Jimmy Garcia down.
Blue Jays are also going to use another guy off their bench. After the Turner hit, Ernie Clement pinch runs for Justin Turner at first base. Guerrero scored. Bichette's all the way around to third. And like you said, it's 5-1 Blue Jays. Alex Faedo was cruising through 3 batters faced, got 3 straight outs, but a walk and now 3 straight singles. And the pitching coach, Chris Fetter, is out there talking to Faedo in the infield. That meeting now broken up. George Springer about to come to the plate.
Yeah, this Blue Jays offense must feel good in that dugout. They just got their 10th base hit of the day. That's something we haven't seen much of.
Scored 9 runs twice in the White Sox series. Had only done that twice in the previous 45 games. First pitch to Springer, hit foul into the netting, 0-1. 5-1 Blue Jays. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Top of the 8th inning. The righty Faedo sets at the belt, and the pitch to George Springer. Lifted to right field, fairly deep. Carpenter camped under it. Bichette tags at third. Catch is made. Bichette coming to the plate. Here's the throw. It's late. Bo slides right around it. Bang, bang play. A good throw from Carpenter, but a better slide from Bichette. 6-1 Blue Jays on the Springer sac fly.
Kerry Carpenter has an absolute cannon out there. Bo Bichette is a pretty good runner, and that was a close play at home. He comes sliding in feet first and just slides across that home plate ahead of the tag. I'm not even sure if he actually touched home plate before the tag. I'm sure the Tigers are looking at it.
Was a bit of an awkward slide off to the right, but the Tigers do not review. So 6-1 Blue Jays, 2 outs. Clement on first, and Dalton Varsho grounds the first pitch he sees foul. 0-1. Now you definitely probably feel comfortable about sitting down Jimmy Garcia with the Blue Jays up 6-1.
Well, I hope they sit him down. He definitely doesn't need work. That's for sure.
0-1 pitch. Grounded foul, 0-2. Heck, you could send Zack Pop out there for another inning if you haven't already told him that his night is done and shut him down.
Well, the most important thing about that as Trevor Richards gets loose in that bullpen is I think that John Schneider is thinking of Zack Pop kind of in that inner circle, like Show likes to say.
0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Varsho goes down. And that's it for the top of the 8th. The Blue Jays scored 3 on 3 hits. They leave 1 on, and they lead 6-1 middle of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the government of Alberta.
This is Jose Berrios, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Trevor Richards in for the 8th inning. The Blue Jays scored 3 in the top of the 8th, so here in the bottom half, they lead 6-1. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Chris LaRue. Trevor Richards' first pitch of the inning. is a called strike against Colt Keith, 0-1. We mentioned it a little bit at the end of the top of the 8th inning. Here's the 0-1. And that ball is smoked down the right field line, foul, 0-2. Trevor Richards clearly available tonight, so using Zack Pop in the 7th inning, the Blue Jays clearly giving him a shot there and some higher leverage.
Well, I think that John Schneider and Pete Walker can clearly see that he has the stuff to be in that high leverage.
0-2. Changeup rolled over to second. Schneider gobbles it up, throws to first. 1 out.
And I've said this since I saw him in spring training, and I know that we had a brief conversation about him in spring training, but he's the guy that if he can kind of harness that fastball and he can locate that fastball, all he has to do is throw that thing to the bottom half of that strike zone. He'll get a ton of guys out, just like Clay Holmes does in New York. I think they're very similar, and yes, Clay Holmes throws a little bit harder.
First pitch to Javi Baez, high ball 1.
But I think people forgot about Zack Pop and the fact that he has upper level, high leverage stuff. Just throw that thing down in the strike zone. I know he knows that, and it's easier said than done.
1-0 pitch. Lifted to shallow right center field. Schneider making the call. He'll catch it over the shoulder. 2 outs.
But I like that John Schneider and Pete Walker are now noticing that, and they're giving just a little bit longer of a leash and a little bit more opportunity.
Trevor Richards in this inning, 2 outs and 5 pitches in his 22nd appearance of the year. In 22 2/3 coming into this one, Richards with an ERA just below 3, 25 strikeouts to 9 walks. Carson Kelly's up, 2 outs and the base is empty. The pitch. Change up for strike 1.
And it's also nice to have another GTA guy in that bullpen.
Oh, yeah. You got Markham, you got Brampton. 0-1. Bounced. 1 ball, 1 strike. How you feeling? We going to get Mississauga in the mix?
No.
1-1 count. Richards to Kelly. Carson Kelly's 1 for 2 today. Pitch. Holds up his swing on a changeup low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Kelly involved in one of the pivotal plays of the game today. It was 1-0 Blue Jays, 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th for the Tigers when Wenzel Perez hit a single up the middle. Javi Baez was guaranteed to score. 2-1 is high, 3-1. Kelly got the wave around third, tried to score. Kevin Kiermaier threw him out to keep it a 1-1 game, and the Blue Jays came back to take the lead from that 1-1 tie in the top of the 7th. But who knows what it would have been like as the 3-1 change lands in for strike 2 if the Tigers had jumped in front. Wave going around at Comerica Park. Blue Jays up 6-1 on the Tigers. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Full count of just above his belt. The pitch. Changeup popped up behind the plate. Jansen can't see it, but it's into the seats. The right-handers set once again. 3-2 again. Change up, hit on the ground at third on 2 hops, speared by IKF. Crow hop and overhand throw to first. In time, that's the inning. Richards sets down the Tigers 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 8th. We head to the 9th. Blue Jays up 6-1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The dock will be rocking as Yacht Rock Radio sets your summer off with nothing but smooth, soft rock party grooves. Featuring the debut of a new weekly mix show, Club Yacht Rock. The Memorial Day Marina Meltdown all weekend long on Yacht Rock Radio. Channel 17 for the summer and always in the Sirius XM app. Spread the word. Anyone can enjoy Sirius XM in the car during our Listen Free event happening now through June 3rd.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Sharing the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
You want baseball? The Doggy has you covered. Tune in to Mad Dog Unleashed for the best baseball coverage anywhere. Weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern. SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Ninth inning in Detroit. Blue Jays up 6-1 on the Tigers. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Appreciate you spending your Thursday evening with us. Mason Englert is in the game now for the Tigers. Called up today after 17 games in AAA and an ERA below 2.5. He'll pitch the ninth inning with the Tigers trailing by 5. Englert's pitch to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Down and away with the fastball, 1-0. Englert brought up as Alex Lang, the setup man for the Tigers and closer last year, was sent down. 1-0. High, 2-0. Lang struggling to start the season, and his most recent outing did have a bit of an incident where he threw a ball back into his own dugout, getting rid of a baseball, and in frustration threw it a little harder than you might see guys do that typically. 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 2-1. But A.J. Hinch did say today that that was not the factor in sending Lang down, but rather his lack of command so far this year. So Englert gets the opportunity here, and he's pitching in the ninth. Righty's 2-1. Kiner-Falefa hits it in the air, deep left field, but under it to make the catch is Veerling just in front of the track. And IKF will go to 2 for 4 with a homer and a triple.
Yeah, and he's hit 4 balls hard. He's looked very good tonight. A lot of line drives. Tell you what, that's a good sign. He's a guy that this Blue Jays team didn't really expect much from, but he's done all right for himself.
And he's gotten in these stretches where he gets hot, maybe entering one of those right now. Here's the pitch to Kevin Kiermaier, 1 out and the base is empty. High and outside, ball 1. Englert, the reliever for Detroit, pitched with the Tigers last year in 31 games. 5.5 ERA over that stretch. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Got Kiermaier to whiff on the changeup. It's 1-1.
I didn't believe A.J. Hinch and the reason for him sending Alex Lang down, but then I looked at the walk rate, and it's not good. It's 17 walks in 18 2/3 innings.
1-1 pitch outside, 2-1. He's a guy with really good stuff, Alex Lang, who got sent down, but lost his closer role to Jason Foley this year because of that erratic command. 2-1 pitch. Kiermaier slices it down the left field line into the seats, 2-2.
Yeah, and he threw in 67 games in 23, 71 in 2022. He's thrown a ton of games for this Detroit Tigers team.
Englert pitching in his 32nd Major League game. 2-2 pitch in the dirt, full count. Englert pitched all of last year with the Tigers, being a Rule 5 pickup from Texas, was a 4th rounder by the Rangers in 2018. 3-2 to Kiermaier is bounced foul. It's fielded by Blue Jays first base coach Mark Budzinski, and they'll do it again at 3-2. 6-1 Blue Jays, top of the ninth, 1 out. Englert sets and delivers. Kiermaier hits it off the handle to right field, sinking down, and it bounces past the slide of Carpenter. Kiermaier around first, headed for second. He wants third, and Kevin Kiermaier has a stand-up triple.
And I don't know if I love the aggressiveness of Kerry Carpenter out there in right field. You already have one out. You should try to keep that guy at first base, but now the Blue Jays are cooking with Kevin Kiermaier standing on third base and one out. It's fun to watch Kevin Kiermaier around the bases like that. He is fast.
While sometimes it's frustrating to see the long fly balls drop in here at Comerica Park, there are so many triples hit here in Detroit. That's the second Blue Jay triple of the game. Here's Davis Schneider. Takes strike one. And this is the ballpark that not too long ago, Curtis Granderson built a 23 triple season in. IKF and Kiermaier both with three baggers today. Infield in, 6-1 Blue Jays, one out top of the ninth. And the 0-1 to Davis Schneider. Swing and a miss. Nasty changeup. It's 0-2. Schneider 0 for 3 today with a walk. Pinwheels his bat, hoists it above his right shoulder, and the 2-strike pitch. Outside with the change, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That view of the skyline and at Comerica is beautiful. It's almost like Pittsburgh. Not quite, but it's pretty close.
1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on a tight slider on the outside corner, and there are 2 down. I don't know how you feel. I happen to think that Comerica Park is a slightly underrated ballpark.
I was just about to ask you, because you probably know this. Why is Comerica really never mentioned with the best ballparks in the major leagues?
You know, I think Middle America, at least the Midwest, feels a lot of the time like people might skip over it. Now, obviously, Wrigley Field is quite prominent, but that happens to be in Chicago at least. First pitch to Danny Jansen, swing and a miss, strike 1.
Yeah, but I think you're right. It is one of the more underrated ballparks in all of the big leagues.
It's got some cool features. There's like huge tigers all over the ballpark, crawling on the scoreboard at the entrances when you walk in. The 0-1. Jansen takes down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And then the skyline is really cool.
Yeah, and I like the brick wall beyond the bullpens, the retired numbers. You know, am I saying it's the nicest in all of baseball? No, but I think it's in the upper half. 1-1. Down and away, 2-1.
What is your favorite ballpark?
It's tough. Probably Fenway Park. San Francisco might be the nicest. 2-1. Jansen rips it on the ground down the left field line. Fair ball rolling toward the corner. Kiermaier jogs home. Jansen headed to second. He's got an RBI double, and the Blue Jays lead 7-1. It's worked out mid-season. 2 outs. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the plate. 7-1 Blue Jays, top of the ninth. The pitch. Fouled off. 0-1. For Jansen, that's his 10th double of the season. He leads the team. He missed a month. Guerrero 1 for 4 today. 0-1. Called a ball, looked pretty good. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And I think if Kevin Kiermaier was at first base on that hit, I think he would have scored anyways, because he would have been on his horse right away.
Running on contact with 2 outs.
Yeah.
1-1. Vlad hits it in the air. Deep center field. Perez at the track. It's out of here. Get the home run jacket ready. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with a 2-run shot to dead center field, and the Blue Jays lead 9-1.
And I've been telling people the home runs will come. He is hitting the baseball very hard on a line right now. Eventually, he's going to get some loft underneath that baseball, and he does right there. Didn't get all of it. Only hit it 106 miles an hour, but he got it just enough to get over that center field wall.
Maybe no one happier to wear that jacket right now than Vlad. Hit it 423 feet to center field. Perez crashed into the wall awkwardly. Hopefully everything's okay with him. But for the Blue Jays, a 9-1 lead. Here's the pitch to Bo Bichette. And he hits a ball in the air out to right. Carpenter camped under it, moves to his left, makes the catch. And that's it. For the top of the ninth inning, the Blue Jays add on 3 runs, a triple from Kiermaier, a double from Jansen, and a 2-run homer from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 9-1 Blue Jays, middle of the ninth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
George Springer has given the Blue Jays the lead once again.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you at Baseball Control in our downtown Toronto studios. Jays lead at 9-1 as we head to bottom 9 in Detroit. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk this evening. Blair and Barker have the postgame show. They will take your phone calls after the final out. Jeff will throw out the numbers to call when this game is in the books. Blue Jays Baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Jays lead the Tigers 9-1 as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue with the call.
Thank you, Show. The Blue Jays need 3 outs to close out a series opening win here in Detroit, and what would be a 4th win in the last 5 games. They lead 9-1, as you mentioned. Tim Meza is going to take over in the 9th inning with the top of the order coming up for the Tigers. Riley Green, Matt Vierling, and Wenzel Perez scheduled to hit this inning, but a pinch hitter to start the inning. Andy Ibanez hits for Riley Green, and the first pitch is strike 1. So Meza robbed of a left-on-left matchup as the utility player Ibanez bats right. Meza's 0-1, bounced, 1 ball, 1 strike. ERA near 7 for Tim Meza so far this season. His 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
I don't mind Tim Meza coming in this ball game. We were talking off air about who we think should come in this ball game. You were saying Eric Swanson, and I agree with both options. I think that both of those guys need to finish a ball game. Both of those guys need to gain some confidence. They need to make better pitches. So Tim Meza, Eric Swanson, flip a coin.
Meza in the set, kicks, delivers. And a fastball is hitting the line to left field, down for a base hit. Ibanez comes off the bench in singles, and there's one aboard here with nobody out. Meza turns around to make sure they have the double play coverage correct, and now Matt Vierling coming up, another right-handed hitter. Ibanez leads off first. Slight hold by Guerrero, the pitch to Vierling. Called low, borderline pitch, 1-0. 9-1 Blue Jays over Tigers. Bottom of the ninth, runner on first and nobody out. The left on right pitch. Off the end of the bat, foul down the right field line, 1-1. So what do you look for out of Meza in an outing like this?
I think the biggest thing in watching him all season long is just he's been so erratic with all of his pitches. And the good thing about what he looks like right now is that the velo is ticking up just a little bit. That last fastball was 94 miles an hour. If he can harness that, if he can continue to have that higher velocity, better movement on his slider, and then locate the pitches better, he can be effective.
2-1 pitch low, 3-1.
But just like that, he's fallen behind 3-1. He has to come back with a fastball or an off-speed pitch down the middle. You don't want to walk Vierling here in a 9-1 ball game. So Vierling can sit back and wait for that pitch right down the middle. He knows he's going to get one.
Here it comes, and Vierling hits it on the ground past the dive of Bichette at short and into left field for another single. Ibanez up to second, 2 aboard with nobody out in the ninth.
And I think that's the biggest thing with Meza right now. You just can't fall behind. You have to make better pitches. You have to get ahead in counts. Throw the fastball down in the strike zone. Throw that slider down in the strike zone early in counts, and then you can expand. It's so hard to pitch when you're falling behind, when you're 1-0, 2-0. It's almost impossible to get big league hitters out.
Meza tries to bounce back now against Wenzel Perez. Switch hitting center fielder who now bats from the right side. Was 1 for 3 from the left side today. Pitch from Meza is grounded to third. IKF steps on third, throws over to first, dug out on the backhand side in the splits by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's a third to first double play, 2 down and a runner on second.
And even in a 9-1 ball game, Vlad is giving 100%. I love watching him play. He's always having fun. Always has a big smile on his face.
Smart play by IKF too with the speed of Perez. The 5-4-3 double play going to second probably wasn't available. But he gets the lead runner and then gets the batter runner. And now the Tigers down to their final out. 9-1 Blue Jays. Vierling on second. Kerry Carpenter at the plate. Left on left pitch. Fastball, strike one.
Actually, off the bat for a split second, I thought, ooh, triple play.
If it's not Perez, I think there's a chance.
Wasn't really hit that hard either.
The 0-1. Hit on the ground to first. Guerrero flips to Meza, who wins the race to first and ends the ball game. The Blue Jays explode late, score 8 runs from the 7th to the 9th, and win 9-1 in the series opener over the Tigers.
Well, Kevin Gausman carried this game early, throwing 5 no-hit innings against the Detroit Tigers, but the offense exploded after Kevin Gausman left this ball game, winning 9-1. What a complete game from this team. Even the bullpen, Zack Pop, Trevor Richards, Tim Meza came in. They've won 3 of 4. And I'm talking about just this stretch where the Blue Jays had to win ball games. They had to go 9-4, 10-3. They've done their job so far, 3 of 4.
And if you count the series-ending win against the Rays, they've won 4 of their last 5. The Blue Jays take this one 9-1. We will take a quick break, wrap it up on the other side, and then get you over to Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. Stick around. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss. Eric Swanson strikes out the side.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays win 9-1 at Comerica Park, win their 4th in 5 games, and score 9 runs for the 3rd time in the last 4 games. Appreciate you sticking around. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And we'll take it back through this one right now. Chris, you were talking about Kevin Gausman's performance as we wrapped up game action. Gausman today with 6 innings, didn't allow a hit until that 6th. 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and a season-high 10 strikeouts. Is this the best we've seen so far from Gausman?
I think so. So early on, he was a little bit erratic with that fastball. He was kind of throwing it like a pizza. He was going that wrist first. But after that first inning, he was exceptional. He was throwing down in the zone, even that split finger. I think in answer to your question, yes, this was the best I've seen of Kevin Gausman. His velo wasn't quite what it has been. It wasn't up to 95, 96, but the location, the movement on the pitches, specifically that split finger, he really relied on that today. And, I mean, 5 no-hit innings, he had good stuff today.
I'm still stuck on throwing it like a pizza. I like that. Kevin Gausman with a great start today. The Blue Jays gave him an early lead. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa homered, but then in the 6th inning, they finally broke open the floodgates to the Tigers with a single by Baez, a single by Kelly, and 2 outs later. Wenzel Perez hit a single. Runners were on 2nd and 3rd at the time. Baez scored. Kelly tried to score from 2nd, and Kevin Kiermaier threw him out at the plate. That kept it a 1-1 game, and the Blue Jays would end up rewarding Gausman, who was still the pitcher of record in the top of the 7th. A leadoff single by Daniel Vogelbach. George Springer struck out, and then with 1 out and 1 on, Dalton Varsho came up with today's play of the game. 1-1, and Varsho jacks the ball to right. Carpenter back at the track, at the wall, out of here. Dalton Varsho leaves the yard to right field, and the Blue Jays jump right back in front. 3-1 Toronto after the 2-run shot.
Well, in a huge spot in a 1-1 ball game, Dalton Varsho drilled his 9th homer of the season. A good slider that was down out of the strike zone. He went down and he golfed it out of here. What a game, what a moment for him. But this was a whole team effort. I think that a lot of things happened today that the Blue Jays can take, and they can gain some confidence from them on the offensive side, on the pitching side. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa hit the ball hard 4 times today, hit it on the screws. Vladimir Guerrero hit a home run. He hit a homer. Vlad hit a home run.
A big one, a 423-foot homer.
And now they've won 3 out of 4. I know they've won 4 out of 5, but I keep saying 3 out of 4 because this is that stretch where they have to really dominate their opponents and potentially go 10-3, maybe 9-4. But winning the first 3 of 4 in this little stretch of games against teams that they should be beating, it's huge for their confidence.
Well, you mentioned the team effort, and listening to Blair and Barker yesterday, John Schneider talked about, although the Blue Jays dominated yesterday, they had 1 big inning. They didn't really add on, and that's happened to them at times this year. In this game, they did add on. After Varsho gave them the lead, probably the highest leverage spot of the year for Zack Pop. He pitches a 1-2-3 7th to maintain the 3-1 lead. Toronto comes up with 3 hits and 3 runs in the 8th, notably a double from Guerrero and an RBI single from Justin Turner coming off the bench. And then a leadoff triple in the 9th by Kiermaier is cashed in by Danny Jansen's RBI double. And then, as you mentioned, the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. home run. And he wore that home run jacket in a game, excluding home run derbies, for the first time since 2022. The Blue Jays win 9-1. They improve to 23-26 on the year. The Tigers now 23-27. Toronto comes up with 9 runs on 13 hits, no errors, 4 left on base. They go 4 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Detroit with 1 run on 5 hits, no errors, 3 left on. The win goes to Gausman, whose line we already mentioned. He's 3-3. Jack Flaherty went 6 1/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. He picks up the loss. He is now 1-4. No save today in a game that took about 2.5 hours and was in front of a crowd of 17,000. Really appreciate you tuning in and sticking with us through some of the technical difficulties. The Blue Jays pick up a 9-1 win to start the series in Detroit, and an exciting one coming up tomorrow. Alek Manoah makes the start for the Blue Jays, coming off 14 innings of no earned runs in his last 2 starts. He takes on Matt Manning, who engineered a combined no-hitter against the Blue Jays last year. 6:40 start. We'll be here with coverage starting at 6:30, and Blair and Barker from 4 to 6 before that. Hope you can tune in all throughout the day. Appreciate you listening tonight. For our technical directors, Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our host and producer, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a good night and get your voice heard. Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker starts right now.
I mean, if all it was going to take for this to happen, Barker, was for them to bring back the damn jacket, they should have done it like, I don't know, 2 months ago.
Should have listened to Vladdy. Huh?
9-1, the Blue Jays have beaten the Detroit Tigers in the first of a 4-game series. Kevin, 18 runs in the last 2 games for the Blue Jays. They have won 4 of 5. Life looks a lot better now, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Well, IKF's eliminated the leg kick, right? Give them a little better chance of throwing barrel at baseball. Getting hitters counts, you can do some damage on it because you're in an athletic position. Dalton Varsho getting off his backside. If you're going to stride separate, eliminate your lower half, you got to make sure you're throwing the back hip at the baseball. You get a little spinner right down the middle, you do damage to the full side. Vladdy, for whatever reason, these Detroit Tigers pitchers think they can throw change-ups. What you doing, man? You got to stay with some length there. You can get the ball in the air, right? You don't try to hit the high-octane velocity. You get a change-up. You can get extended a little bit more. Staying in the big part of the field. I think that's sort of the theme, right? Is seeing Bo squared up with the shoulder, staying in the big part of the field. Vladdy with the double to left center, the home run to center. You know, they're square. They got linked in their swing. They're staying in the big part of the field. They got through the 6th inning, right? You had Gausman in the 6th inning, sort of first and second, nobody out, had to make a couple big pitches. Kiermaier, right? It's the first move. Ball hit to you, runner at second. It's that first move. Actually, you're throwing him out before you actually get the baseball. Once you get the baseball, because you have talent, you have arm strength, that's sort of icing on the cake. You make the plays, Jeff, when you have to make them, right? You do that on the road, you get really good starting pitching. The starting pitching gives that lineup a chance to have a big inning. Just so happens they had a couple of big innings. Hopefully they can build off that, and we see more jacket. Let's all say it together. See more jacket.
Yeah, let's say it, shall we? Kevin Gausman, you mentioned it was awfully good. Danny and Chris LaRue and Ben Schulman made the point during the telecast and the broadcast. The velo was down a little bit for Kevin Gausman on his fastball, but I mean, and other than that little wobble in the 2nd inning, he was awfully good. And I mean, 5. Listen, I understand. The Detroit Tigers are only marginally better than the Blue Jays as an offensive team, but 5 no-hit innings is nothing to be sneezed at. Considering Kevin Gausman's had kind of an uncertain start to the season.
Yeah, the split hadn't been split, and I think today, at least for me, that's the best splitter we've seen in a while, right? When you sort of manipulate that thing, have it looking like a sinker. He can have the one that looks a little bit more like a 12-6 that he's trying to get a swing and miss on. That's sort of more for the lefty than the righty. Righty's got something that he can do to sort of both sides of the plate. He's changing speeds a little bit more on the split finger. And a fastball command, I think sort of the lineup you're facing, he was attacking a little bit more. He saw the same stat that we saw, that they don't swing a ton. First couple of pitches, he was very aggressive. He got ahead most of the time. When you're doing that and you can start to have that split finger tunnel a little longer, breaking a little bit more, doing it with some sink both sides of the plate. I mean, he's a tough kid. He made a pitch, Jeff, when he had to make it. I think that's sort of what we haven't been seeing from him. And tonight, in the sixth inning there when he needed to make a pitch, it was the two-seamer. I think the Veerling, it looked like to me like a two-seamer. And then the elevated fastball to Green there to get the punch out. The Perez at bat, you tip your hat to a good hitter, right? I mean, that's a young hitter who's hungry. I mean, he battled, he fought, he got a good pitch, he stayed up the middle, tip your hat. But other than that, I mean, that's exactly what the doctor ordered. Do you expect anything other than this from the rotation right now? I think they got 5 dudes who are predictable. Now it's just for the lineup to step up and continue to have some at-bats like this. I will say this. Ross and whoever wanted to speak out loud was saying, when Bo and Vladdy are going, the lineup just seems to fall in place. Boy, it sure looks that way, don't it, Jeff?
It absolutely does. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. 590 is the text line. It is a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. 9-1, the Blue Jays have beaten the Detroit Tigers in the first game of a 4-game series. The second game is tomorrow. Again, it's a 6:40 start. Alek Manoah will be on the mound for the Blue Jays. And a reminder that Sunday's game is an 11:35 a.m. first pitch. It is a Roku game. It is a part of MLB's new package that it has negotiated with Roku. The difference between this package and the Apple TV package is we at Sportsnet will be carrying the game on the TV side as well as the radio side, so you can get up and have brunch with the Blue Jays on Sunday. And who knows if they get another couple of games like this. I mean, I'm not saying that it could be a sweep, but
say it, Jeff.
No, not just after one game.
Huh.
Not just after one game. 416-870-0590. Star 590, 1-888-666-0590. 590 is the text line. Bo and Vladdy, you're absolutely right. When they get it going, this team's offense is a handful. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But Kevin, I wanted to ask you about Dalton Varsho. Whenever Dalton Varsho gets a hit, it's an extra base hit. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think at one point, I think we're closing in on half his hits are extra base hits, or 43% or 44% of his hits are extra base hits. Do we need to maybe? I'm not going to say reevaluate him as a hitter because I think you're right. I think we all agree he's never going to win a batting title. He's not going to hit 300. But is there more of a hitter in there than we may have originally thought?
Yeah, I think you got to ask yourself, what's the expectations for Dalton Varsho? I've said this, and I'll continue to say it. Try and hit 25 homers, however many RBIs that brings, steal at least 20 bases, and play elite defense in center and left. And it seems to me like he's, headed in that direction to do that kind of thing. And whatever he hits average-wise is gravy. Like, it's again, what's your expectations, Jeff? And I think they sort of have tampered expectations a little bit, right? It's a little unfair, and I said this the first time I saw him hitting cleanup at the beginning of the season. You ain't doing him no favors. Like, you're bringing him over here. You gave up what you gave up for him. It's a lot of pressure on a kid to show up and, trying to figure out his lower half. He's got 2 different ones, and, it's in between, and now all of a sudden the league's made an adjustment with the elevated fastball. It just seems to me like they're getting out of the way. Like, leave the kid alone. Let him go out there and beat Dalton. And I think Dalton's bought into it. I think the organization's bought into it. And I think fans of the Blue Jays and Dalton Varsho should just enjoy what they're seeing. Don't put a ton of expectations on him. And, be happy when he does something productive to the pull side, right? He's not, for me anyway, he's probably going to be a tough get to hit somewhere in the 280 range just because you don't use the whole field, right? You to hit for a high average, you got to use a little bit more of the whole field. And for him not to be doing that and up the middle to the pull side, I like that. I like dudes who try and do damage and, get the foot down and just think about, I have good rotation. The barrel will get out front, and hopefully I get this thing in the air and I help my team win a baseball game. And look, all of a sudden now, Jeff, I think you're stopping what you're doing to watch Dalton hit, and that's kind of cool, I think.
Brendan in Alberta, you're on Blue Jays Talk. What's up, Brendan?
Hey, guys. How's it going tonight?
It's going well, man.
Good win. Love to see the runs, but I just want to point out Kevin Kiermaier's throw at the plate today.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really big defensive play in my mind.
Sure was.
You come up to the plate, instead of being down by one, you're tied. Going to the plate for Varsho's at bat just kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off and just makes him just freer up there, I think. And I just want to get your guys' opinion on how a big defensive play like that can really change the way a lineup goes up there and approaches their at-bats.
I appreciate the call, Brendan. Kevin, I'll turn it over to you. You played the game, but I do want to say this. Maybe the most frustrating thing to me about this team is, they've got really good outfield defense, elite outfield defense. In general, okay infield defense, maybe better than okay infield defense. And you know what? They've cured a lot of the boneheaded base running plays they've made in the past. Now, I think tonight I noticed Bo slipped and fell when he was picked off. I also noticed that it looked like it was Lake Erie between first base and second base. I mean, I'm sure. Listen, I know that the grounds crews can do some funky things to base pass. But all that aside, that's the frustrating thing to me is I'm seeing a lot of really a lot of that stuff that we weren't seeing 2 years ago even we're seeing now, right? And to me it just makes the lack of offense even more frustrating. But to the caller's point, I'll turn this over to you. You've played the game. A big defensive play. See, I'm not necessarily a big believer in momentum, but I am a big believer that a big defensive play that can get you back into the dugout and get you up to the plate, it helps the pace of the game almost, right?
Well, yeah, you would think too. Vogelbach, right? If he's down a run, is going to go up and try and get sexy, right? He's going to get frisky. He's going to try and hit a homer instead of just trying to hit a ball hard. And that was the longest single in the history of baseball, by the way. I mean, that's something else, dude. That is something else. But anyway, I think just the at-bats, the mindset of, okay, it's a tie. I stay within myself. I don't overdo it. Instead of being down a run and, you're gripping the bat a little tighter. You may expand. You may chase. You have empty at-bats instead of, right, exactly what you saw. And then, you sort of take off from there. Kiermaier's must-watch at center, man. Like, it's just the way he gets to the baseball, the routes he runs, how he gets around the ball. Even if the ball plays him like that ball did a little bit where he called it a little awkward, he still makes up for it by sort of, real quick, like throwing his body around just to line it up towards his target so he can throw a strike to Danny. Like, it's just little things like that to make him elite. So, absolutely. I mean, that's a great call by the caller. And if you're not going to hit, Jeff, you better play great defense. And that's what Kiermaier does.
Yes, absolutely. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. It is a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk with Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. We're going to take a break and go back to the phone lines, back to the text lines as well. 590 is a text line. If you can't call us, feel free to drop us a text. We'll get it on tonight. It's Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Show your pride in the heart of Toronto and create core memories. Join us at the ballpark on Friday, June 14th for Pride Night, presented by TD, and get your Blue Jays Rainbow Rope Corduroy hat. At the core of who we are. Celebrate Pride and enjoy great Pride Night activities around the ballpark. On Friday, June 14th, arrive early to get your Blue Jays Rainbow Rope Corduroy hat giveaway. Pride Night, presented by TD. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle?